If you've ever waited for a specific morning data print and then clapped your hands like an overexcited seal as the market moved in your direction, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Welcome back. Happy hump day. Happy Wednesday. Hope you all are doing well. The CPI print is here, and we haven't even got to the Fed. That's coming later today. What are we going to do? We'll break it down.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
All right, folks, happy Wednesday. Welcome back. It is time for another episode of Live Trading. Great to have a whole bunch of returning faces. Got Andy from Mighty Soldiers Trades joining us today. Andy, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, Ryan. Yeah, it's all about the stash right now, so I'm doing good as long as I'm looking at this in the morning. So,
okay, as long as that's what does it for you, that's great. Also bringing in Nick, News by Nick. Nick, how you doing here today?
Good morning. How is everybody? A lot going on this morning.
I was going to say, how are you doing after that CPI print? A lot going on. Like I said in my opening there, I still think that the market really kind of needs to come in. I'm still bearish overall, but I'm willing to ride the wave, and I'm not going to fight the trend. And the trend has been up. And this data print, I was kind of waiting for this one. And like I said, I was extremely happy watching this go up. We'll see if we close positions here today on this move. I really want to get a feel from everyone in the group here. Do you think that this is going to continue? Is the high print in? We'll talk about all that. I want to hear how you folks are trading it. Nick, I'm going to have you break down that news real quick. I know we're a little bit short on time here because pre-market prep ran a little bit late, which is fine. Big day here. Let's start with the SPY. We are breaking out and opening at new all-time highs. So I want to see where this momentum takes us. Right now, momentum is clearly to the upside. If you look at the intraday chart in SPY, we've popped, we've held higher, we've actually drifted higher. I expect the top of this candle to get snapped. We'll see where we end up finishing here after this CPI print here today. But for any of you that loaded up or has been long going into this print, really, really good stuff. Let me know if you ring the register today and book some of those gains on any of those trades. Would love to hear it. Okay, that takes care of the SPY. Andy, did you want to talk about any of the positions that you carried into today or what you're doing to get ready for today here?
okay, Ryan. So basically, you guys know that I decided to do this diamond hands on the AMC and the GME with a relatively small position in both. And last night, it popped right back up to my number. This morning, it popped right back up to my average again, just below it. I think AMC, I went a little green, and I didn't want to take just a slight bit of profit. So I'm still holding it. I still have them. I'm still waiting to see this rock star, move that I missed last time around and see if I can get that. But yeah, right now, I'm just laughing a little bit because, it just seems to happen as a trader so often. I don't know if it's me and I do this a lot, but statistically, I'm not even sure it's possible for something to reject at my number as often as it does. That's where we're at.
So you're still long those trades there?
Oh, I am, definitely. Yes, I'm not letting go, Ryan.
Okay, I'm not letting go. You got to let go at some point. Keep us posted on how that trade plan actually works. GME here actually kind of rolling over from the pre-market highs, but not really breaking down. I'm sure we'll check in on this a little bit later here today, GME. Okay, awesome update on your positions. One of the things that I'm going to be watching today, I did stay in that Chewy position. It never really broke down. I know it came back against me, but daily chart still looking really good. Targets of 25 and 30 still looking pretty good. So we're still in here. If this pops and continues to move up today, we might have to book some more of those gains. We're just shy of 23.50 at the moment. So that's going to be one of the swings that I'm kind of managing here today. The rest of them, probably not going to take anything else off here today. Yeah, probably just going to kind of hold long with the holdings that I already have. So, okay, let's go ahead and talk about some of the new movers. I'm going to start actually with a couple of big stocks, and I want to hear what you folks are looking to play here today. So let's flip over to the movers tab. Okay. First thing, let me go to, I'm on the wrong screen here. Let me go ahead and share my screen. That would be the first thing. First stock that we're going to talk about here is going to be Oracle. And Nick, I'm going to bring you in for this to kind of cover these earnings. Oracle shares are trading higher despite a Q4 miss. The company also announced a partnership with Microsoft and OpenAI to extend the Microsoft Azure AI platform to Oracle Cloud infrastructure to provide additional capacity for OpenAI. So stocks up 7.5% here in the pre-market on the back of a Q4 miss. What's going on here, Nick? What do you think?
Yeah, so EPS came in at 163. Estimate was for 165. Revenue also was a miss, 14.3 billion. Estimate was for 14.554 billion. They also say the Q4 cloud revenue was up 20%, cloud infrastructure revenue up 42%, cloud application revenue up 10%. They say throughout a fiscal year 2025, they expect continued strong AI demand to push Oracle sales and RPO even higher. They expect each successive quarter to grow faster than the previous quarter in full year 25. They say Oracle signed over 30 AI sales contracts totaling more than 12.5 billion in Q4. And as you mentioned, they have the partnerships going with Google and Microsoft with OpenAI. So it's going to be very interesting to see how today does with Oracle earnings. We also have, I believe, Broadcom coming up after the close soon this week. And I believe we also have Adobe. So we still have a few more earnings until we officially get back into earnings season, July 12th, with JP Morgan and the banks kicking it off. So just some laggards that are reporting. But this is something to watch because this is in the AI industry and they missed on the top and bottom line.
Okay. So if we take a look at Oracle here, if you take a look at where it actually is, we are right at a potential double top. Now, technically, I think what the current price is here, 132.99. I actually think technically we're above it, but let's see where we close. We are right at a resistance point. Jay Rice bringing up a really good point here. Oracle numbers were so-so. It's the Google Microsoft deal that pushed it. So here's my question, Jay. Is this a potential short, or is that too good of a catalyst where, hey, new all-time highs, blue sky breakout here on Oracle? What's next? On Oracle, we are right at a spot here, and I want to know if this is a potential long trade or a potential short trade. What you folks think? Really good stuff here. All right, that takes care of Oracle. We will go over the CPI. I guess we should just do this right now. Do you just want to go over that right now, Nick, and then we'll go through some of these smaller movers here?
Yeah, we can if you want to do that.
Yeah, let's do that because I think that's probably going to be more important. Obviously, we're going to be waiting for Powell once the market opens. So what did you see here with the data print?
Yeah, so CPI month over month was actually at 0. Estimate was for 0.1. Previously, it was for 0.3. Year over year came in at 3.3. Estimate was for 3.4. Previously, it was 3.4. Core CPI month over month came in at 0.2%. Estimate was for 0.3. Previously, was 0.3. And CPI, core CPI year over year came in at 3.4. Estimate was for 3.5. If you're going back on some of the readings here, the lowest headline month over month CPI this was the lowest since May of 2020 and lowest core month over month since August of 2021. Now, you have to go back to February of 2004 to see the degree of core goods deflation that we just had in May. So it's been a while since we've had the deflation. You know, there's still a lot of concerns regarding this CPI report. Is PPI going to confirm it tomorrow? And then what is the Fed going to say today regarding this report? So there's going to be a lot of tensions that are waiting for. So even though the market's higher right now, I think the 2 and 230 is really going to be eyeballing right here.
I completely agree with you, Nick, and I'm glad that you said that. I actually think it's going to serve almost as two separate events spaced out by a half an hour. How often have we seen the reaction to the actual meeting decision and then a different reaction even to the testimony from Powell himself? So I'm with you on that. This zone that we're in, or this time period that we're in right now, just kind of like that ether, right? Like that euphoria after a really nice CPI print that's driven the market higher. But we still have PPI tomorrow. We're not even thinking about that yet because we got Powell midday first. So we're just kind of in that I almost want to call it like a euphoric cloud area, but that doesn't make any sense. So anyway, it'll be interesting to see how this morning trades.
I mean, to go through some of the components, food at home was only up 1%. Fuel oil 3.6. Shelter up 5.4, electricity up 5.9. The one that's still up big in this report is transportation up 10.5, but new cars down 0.8%, and used cars actually down 9.3%.
Okay, that's probably pretty good. It's still inflation's slowing, not going away, I think is the important takeaway. Okay, so that takes care of the SPY and the inflation number, or excuse me, the CPI number here. I'd love to hear how any of you in the chat are actually going to trade that. What are some of the things that you're looking at here for new trades? Yes, we can talk about Tesla. We'll get to that in a little bit here, right before we open. Let's go ahead and run through some of the movers here while you folks are thinking about what it is that we're going to trade here today. Like I said, I would really love to hear how you folks are looking at things and all of that. First little guy on the list here is going to be BMR. This is Beamer Imaging. Now, we've traded this one before. We've made a whole bunch of jokes about this. I think we had a couple of pet names for this particular stock, so we're familiar with this one. Beamer Imaging shares trading higher after the company announced that Beamer Cloud solution has achieved powered by expertise and is now available in the Oracle Cloud marketplace. Pretty good day to drop that PR. Oracle trading up 7.5%. Might just be serendipitous here. This popped almost as high as 7, came back in. We've actually taken out the VWAP. Some pretty good expanding volume here in the pre-market, and we continue to push higher. So one of the things I'd like to see here is maybe a hold of where we're at, pull back towards that VWAP, and maybe a move off that. It's a 40 to 50 cent range from where we're at to the VWAP right now. So we'll see if we end up getting down there. Beamer looking really strong. I know there were a bunch of you folks that traded this one before. I'm curious if you're going to trade it again, but that's going to be the first one. Any of you, or Andy, do you have anything on Beamer? Is this something that you'd be looking to trade? Does the action here get you excited at all?
Honestly, Brian, this was the only one that is moving here in the pre-market, or basically moving here in the pre-market, and we are rounding out. So that is interesting, but I have learned the hard way that oftentimes it's best for me to wait and see what happens at market open, because as you pointed out yesterday and many times that I've been on the show with you here, that as soon as market opens, they just collapse and continue down.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm wondering here. I'm not really in a rush to grab any of these right off the open. A day like today, especially when I was positioned fairly well going into the day, I don't really feel that need to kind of go after stuff. I'll slow it down. I'll be patient. The swing trading that I'm doing is working way better than the day trading that I'm doing, and that's going to be totally okay with me. So we'll just keep that rolling here.
Ryan, on BMR though, what is it? I think 229, or in February anyways, we had a spike to 34.94. So, and we're only up here at 621 right now. I mean, so, being that we have been there before, these penny runners, that
was a wild day. That was a wild day. I remember when that happened. That was a wild day. You're right here about the range. The one thing that I'll note, we're taking a look at the daily chart here. The one thing that you can immediately look towards is what was the volume doing on that day versus what is it doing today. We are not even in the same zip code as we were on that particular day. If things change after the market opened, that might be something to look for. I'm not saying this stock's going to go to 35 here today, but a really good point, Andy. We've seen this before on a huge run. If it starts to get crazy, this is what this stock is capable of doing.
If we can break through the highs here on the 5-minute, the current near-term highs, what about 698 or so? We could possibly get back up to that 826 though, where you see that previous pop before that large run up in the 30s.
Okay. Good stuff there. BMR. We'll see if that gives us a trade here. First thing I'm going to be looking for is that VWAP. Next here is going to be RNA. This is Avidity Biosciences. Now, Avidity shares are trading higher after the company announced an initial AOC 1020 data from the phase 1 and 2 Fortitude trial demonstrating reductions of greater than 50% in DUX4 regulated genes, trends of functional improvement and favorable safety and tolerability in people living with, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, muscular dystrophy, some type of muscular dystrophy. So RNA here, huge move. This stock was actually under $30 yesterday, actually under $29, about 28, almost $29. Stock's up 21% here in the pre-market. This is not a stock that I follow. I can't remember if there's anyone in the group that follows this one here today, but as you can see, we are now breaking into not quite all-time highs, breaking into new recent highs, and we are going to test some of those all-time highs here on RNA. That value up here is going to be at $37.45, so about $2.50 away from where we're at right now. RNA, this might be on deck here today for a trade, and I actually can't remember if what the option chain looks like. Just give me 1 sec to pull that up here. This does have options, but they are extremely illiquid. I wouldn't expect much in the way of options from this here today. Okay, that takes. Go ahead.
And then with RNA, Ryan, one of the first things I think is how big is the market for this? Sure, we have some good data, but how big will the market be? Does it justify the move?
Yeah, no, a really good point. Really. And that's always one of the key things with some of these biotechs, not always easy to figure out. In some cases, depending on the disease, a little bit easier. Cancer is one of those, but we'll see here about muscular dystrophy. Okay, next here is going to be Wheeler Real Estate IT. This is ticker WHLR. I know we've traded this one before off the scanner. You actually see this stock has popped a number of times. It never really holds its pop. This is really kind of coming off of a low here. It's probably had a reverse split recently. Let me check the calendar real quick. Indeed, May 17th, it did a 1 for 24 reverse. Looks like we've gone lower since then. Stocks popping here in the pre-market. We're right at VWAP. Maybe there's going to be a technical trade here, but I'll just being completely honest with you. I think that there's better choices for us here today, and this would kind of be a last resort. Especially given the fact that we have an entire market moving event here in the pre-market off some of that data. So WHLR gapping up here, really no news, recent reverse split. Take it for what it's worth. Volume looks pretty decent, but I think we're going to have some better opportunity elsewhere. DSY. Okay, so DSY, this is interesting. This has been interesting recently. We had a huge pop here on Friday. We've really kind of bled down, but we're starting to kind of get back here today, right? Traded up a little bit here in the pre-market. I've got no new news on this. Looks like maybe this is just kind of a Momo continuation or someone trying to revive it from the dead here. We'll see if this ends up getting rolling. We're still 40 cents away from the VWAP here. So for me, the first thing is I want to see the volume expand into the actual open. I want to see more people trading this, and I want to see that VWAP get recaptured.
What I like to see on this, Ryan, is that we're holding above that real body low on the monthly chart where we had that big pop and that drop. So the fact that we're holding there, I mean, whenever you look at all these reversals and stuff, that's pretty much key.
Okay, I just have this one candle here on the monthly. Does your monthly chart look different than this one?
DSY, yeah.
Definitely. It probably just has more sticks drawn in there, but okay. Actually, it looks like, boy, I'm not getting a whole lot of readings. I'll refresh that when we move on. When we move on from this. Okay, next is going to be AGBA. This is another one that we've traded here before. I think this is kind of junky. AGBA Group holding shares are trading higher after the company said it filed its preliminary proxy statement for shareholder meeting to approve its merger with Triller. Okay, more Triller news. Trade this one at your own risk. Would be curious to know if any of you guys trade this. Wolf, this has been another one that we've kind of recently traded. It's had a big day yesterday, has some continuation today. I'd be looking for a pullback on this one today. Looking for maybe a knife pullback to some type of support level. Not going to say it's completely done. Maybe there will be another up move here, but given its performance yesterday, a little bit of continuation here today, I think this one's probably ripe for a pullback. Okay. That's probably it. I know we talked a little bit about Affirm yesterday. They had news that they're going to accept, or that Apple Pay is now going to accept Affirm. See if that does anything. Affirm higher here. And then Open Door also trading up here a little bit, but I didn't think this was on. Yeah, just not on any news. Okay. Let's go back over to the chart tool. We had a request to take a look at Tesla. Let's do that. We've taken a look at Tesla quite a bit here recently. Lynn and Randy, if you're out there, I know that you told us yesterday you're looking for an ATM trade to the downside here on Tesla. A couple of things to keep in mind. Tesla was pretty weak yesterday. There's a lot of talk about Elon Musk's pay package. Nick, if you have an update on any of that, we would be happy to hear it here. Today, it looks like we've kind of just popped here in the pre-market, but the trading action looking kind of weak, right? We've kind of broken out of that flag formation. It looks like this kind of wants to retrace here. Let's see what this does when the market actually opens. Nick, did you have anything else on Elon Musk or his pay package or anything like that that we could add to the discussion here on Tesla?
Yeah, Reuters reported this morning that Florida Pension Board backs $56 billion pay package for Tesla CEO Elon Musk. Florida State Board of Administration says, quote, plans design is very well structured, votes against Tesla director nominee Kimball Musk, against move to Texas. Other than that, it's been kind of quiet given this period into the shareholders meeting tomorrow. As we reported yesterday, RSVP emails have been sent out for people that are attending the meeting. Tomorrow, Tesla stock is probably going to be very volatile given the updates that come out of the quarterly meeting, and the pay package will be front and center.
Okay. Really good stuff there. For those of you that are looking to trade Tesla, I'd be really curious to know how you're positioning yourself for this and what you're actually looking for. Lynn is saying, love the weakness now. Tesla, let's see. Okay, so Lynn, correct me if I'm wrong, but are you looking for I guess you're gonna play whatever hand you're dealt here. So long, short, you guys have been day trading Tesla quite a bit recently. Okay, Chewy, we already talked about Chewy. Really, there's nothing else really new going on here. I'll cover it again just in case you were a little bit late and missed it. Daily chart still looking pretty good. Targets of $25 and $30 looking pretty good. Obviously, Chewy popped here this morning with the CPI number that we got. So I'm still in this. I ended up, like I said, I did sell a little bit on the way up on that first move just to kind of protect myself. I did that so I could hold through some type of regressive move, which is what we've got. Not yesterday, but really the day before. So let's see if we get some more strength here today. If we do pop and trade up above 24, I'll be looking to take a little bit more off of this on Chewy. Okay, we're open. Let's see what we got. As always, the stream is sponsored by Trade the Pool. So if you need help getting above that 25K day trading threshold, be sure to check out Trade the Pool. That might be your answer. A bunch of really good guys over there as well. And if you just need some more dry powder, that might also help. Let me see what's going on with my chart here. That's not loading. Here's
I was going to say, guys, right at the open, a lot of new 52-week highs. Google, Costco, Applied Materials, Microsoft, Apple, Micron, Oracle, Broadcom. Like the list just continues to come.
Apple. So where are we at now with the market cap on Apple with that new all-time high? Did it join the 3 trillion club? Is it up there with NVIDIA now and Microsoft?
Yes.
Okay. So there you go. BMR here, by the way, first move to the highs here on BMR. I'm going to pull up some. GameStop, by the way, trading lower, which is interesting. GameStop seeming to be one of the only stocks that doesn't really like the CPI report here today. GameStop looking like it's going to try and hunt out that $28 pre-market low here. Scanner so far is kind of dry. WHLR just kind of sitting there. Oh, you know what? One sec. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. Again, sorry about the dead air here. I don't see anything else really popping up on the scanner here. How's Oracle doing? Oracle looks like it's trying to go over 136. Market's still green. Apple's still moving towards the highs here. Sorry, Andy, what do you got?
I'm just pointing out that NVIDIA is breaking out here, looking pretty good.
Let's take a look at that. You looking for a day trade here on NVIDIA? Ooh.
Honestly, Ryan, I am looking for a pop and drop. That's my idea this morning. I could be totally wrong. I've been wrong before, but that's what I'm looking for. But
Okay.
everything is sort of popping. I mean, Tesla's sharply moving. Its, Tesla, NVIDIA, AMD slightly still popping off the lows.
Apple to the highs. Lots of strength here after that open. Seeing so interesting NVIDIA trade here. These expire. This is 3,221 contract buy for the 119 put on NVIDIA that expires this week. So Andy, maybe someone else looking to play a little regression back to the mean there on Nvidia via the options market. 3,200 contracts. They were cheapies, but that's still kind of a big trade there. Lots of positioning early here. RNA kind of holding. What else do you folks see? Whisk, you got DSY getting called. Let's take a look here at DSY. Looks like that tried to go back to the VWAP. Let's see what else. You guys are. Good morning, Easy Mike. Good morning, Nick. Boy, I missed a lot here. I'm sorry, folks. I missed a lot here. Good morning, D. Good morning, Crow. Jonathan Cooper. Great to see you again. Okay, what are you folks taking a look at? Yeah, what do you got?
I just love how amazing your chat is, Ryan. I mean, everybody here is providing value. This is a great place to be, man. I love it.
Yeah, it is. That's why we add you here, Andy. That's why we bring you in. You add to it too.
I feel like I can learn a lot hanging out around here.
Okay, WHLR. This kind of fallen out here. That's kind of what I expected. Open Door continuing to push the high. I think somebody else mentioned Zillow in the chat, didn't they? Here is Zillow. That also right at the highs here. So that reacted positively to what's going on here today on Zillow. This actually looks like a fairly decent curl here. I wonder if this can take out 50. Excuse me. Big reversal here in Tesla all of a sudden. Let's take a look. There you go. So it looks like that continued to kind of fall out here, right back down to balance. Lynn, let me know what you're doing here with Tesla. I know that you guys have been watching this one.
Apple continuing to rip here. And yeah, Tesla, what a move.
What a move. Zoltan, it is good to see you as well. Zoltan, by the way, doing great with your trading recently. Congrats on the gains booked on DraftKings, by the way. Zoltan told me yesterday, all you really need to be successful is pre-market prep, live trading, and happy hours. Zoltan, that means a lot. Glad to see you doing really well. Glad to see you helping out our community as always.
If you don't mind me adding, Ryan,
go ahead.
I think some Brian Shannon books don't hurt. Just putting that out there.
No, Brian Shannon is a G. Of course, that wouldn't hurt. That would actually help. That'd be accretive. Apple right at the highs, 209.84. Your high print there, holding that 209.50. Actually looks like it's trying to go higher on Apple. Chewy looked like a number of people took some profits after that pop, right back to the highs. I'd love to see 23.50 get taken out. Remember, the calls that I'm in are 22.50, so we're already in the money on that. Blind Trader, great to see you again as well, my man. Hopefully you're doing well here today.
Hey, Mike, good to see you, man.
See, we're on a first name basis around here, Andy. That's what we do. Nick, liking Palantir. Palantir to 25 minutes, only 75 cents away. One of the things that I think near term would really like to see is this right here, right? We are above that. Let's close above that trend line. And then maybe we can get a run here. This would just kind of be a near-term thing. I still like Palantir. No new trades for me, though, on Palantir, at least not yet.
So I took some profit on this drop off the 65 EMA on the SPY, and we rested on the 200, and we sat there a little too long for me to be comfortable to wait it out. It could continue down, but I decided to take that profit and get out of the way and see what happens first.
Okay.
Too close to market open for me to chill and just wait it out.
Hey,
a little bit of profit better than no profit.
Lots of stuff all of a sudden on the scanner. Wolf continued here. So for those of you trading Wolf, that's WULF. That popping here to 420. Maybe not a coincidence there. Wisdom, looking at you. BMR came right back into that VWAP and held it. Let's see if we have a trade here on BMR. Potential long bounce play here. And first target would be up towards that 650 if it can hold BMR. Get the Twitter streets up here. Gosh, days like this, man. Days like this, really good. So I'll tell you what, I would so much rather manage an existing or group of existing positions than putting on new ones. Just the level of stress, so much lower. So much lower. Crow mentioning that GME is going green here. What do you think, Andy? Your diamond hand's going to pay off with diamonds?
It's getting closer to my number, but I'm not very positive about it breaking through my number, Ryan. It doesn't seem to happen very often.
Okay. See if we can get through 32 here today. That might actually juice this thing.
I mean, I kind of see it like this. There's a board that lights up with all of our numbers, and then all the smart money behind the scenes, they trade around that and beat us up. So that's kind of how I envision it in my head every time it rejects at my number.
Apple 210 now, going for 211. Just monster strength after yesterday's candle. And remember, that day prior, we actually traded lower on Apple. The day of the event, we traded lower. The day of the start of the event, we traded lower. We have made a 18 point move from the pre-market yesterday to right now. Apple there's a reason why I call this stock Big Mama, and it is back. Apple is back, folks. There was a gentleman earlier talking about shorting the market right out of the open here. And to be quite honest with you, after that pop, I can totally see why you were doing that. We haven't got it yet. That doesn't mean we're not going to get it. We actually haven't got above 542 on the SPY. That is going to be your pre-market high. We were definitely rejected there. We're back up near those highs. We haven't taken them out yet. I'd be curious to know how you're actually going to manage that position. Did you put it on yet? Number one, what are your targets? And then what is your plan to get out of that if it ends up not working here? I'm with you on a market short. I'd like to be able to do that. I'm just not sure today if I'm going to be given that. ENVX trading up here. This is another one that Zoltan has talked to our community about. Zoltan put this on our radar a while ago. Looks like this is working for you, Zoltan. You absolutely love to see that. You love to see that. Glenn, good morning. Glenn calling Chewy 24.55. I'll take that if we go there today. Believe me. Crow calling Pixie, which has been a day trading stock for us, saying worth watching here on Pixie. Maybe we break out of that pre-market formation there, Crow. Currently at 150 here. Really need to take out, what number is that? 155. See if we get that there on PIXY. Catch up on the chat here. Boy, you folks are popping. You folks are popping out here. Absolutely love it.
Love the energy, Ryan.
Yeah, me too. Me too. That's the thing. Like, I feed off other positive energy. I can't help it. When it looks like the chat here, real positive here this morning, and you just love to see that here. Jay Rice talking. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, it's worth pointing out. My friend Carly Garner said that it's looking like the reward to the long side in the market is looking less than the risk to the downside. So I'm being a little more cautious with my long positions here, a little quicker to get out and just sort of take what I can get.
Okay. The Purgatory Park due to Apple WTF. Mingo saying finally some resistance here on Apple. I'll bring that chart up here in a sec. Let's let that shake out. Jay Rice here looking at 25% weak. We'll sell a few calls if this hits 10. Jay, we hit 10. We backed off that level. Let me know if you got filled on this. I believe you were talking to us about JMIA in a 5 handle. I think maybe even a 4 handle. This must have been back here at the beginning of May. This has been an absolute monster move here for JMIA. Really good. So I should have taken that with you, Jay. I really do. I should have taken that with you. Felicia, again from our community, just out here gifting memberships to people. Alyssa, we should come up with something for something that we can do for people that opt to do this. You got any ideas? Okay, maybe not yet. I'll ask again. Felicia, thank you very much. That's very, very kind of you. Let me know if there's anything you want us to kind of go over. Really, really good stuff. By the way, Felicia is our real estate expert that shares her expertise about the real estate market in Happy Hour on a regular basis. We're thrilled to have Felicia contributing to our wonderful community. Thank you very much, Felicia.
Guys, Apple has officially taken over Microsoft to reclaim the position of the world's most valuable company. Apple currently has a market cap of 3.245 trillion. Microsoft 3.237 trillion. So Apple's up another almost 2.2% today. Microsoft's only up 0.6%.
Okay, Apple clearly the outperformer there. Holy cow. We are moving. So one of the things that I want, let me see if I can actually get this to work here. Oops. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. Okay, I'll deal with that a little bit later. Let's see, what else do we have here? Sun Nova Energy. This is a solar company, right? Let me see if I remember that correctly. Yep, residential solar. This has got, Jay, I think you talked about this earlier, right? This has got to be awesome. Today, a day like today, got to be awesome for those solar names. Solar, IWM. What were some of the other ones that you had mentioned earlier? Obviously, that's reacting. First Solar, ENPH. Those are going to be some of the other solar names. Those are probably doing pretty well. First Solar, we should check in with Anne Marie. She put on a trade on First Solar. I think it was Wednesday. I think it was last Tuesday, wasn't it? About a week ago. Not bad here. First Solar popping. EMPH probably doing the same thing. EMPH up almost 7.5% here today. Okay. Jonathan Cooper, really appreciate this, by the way. Nova, 34% of the float shorted here. Actually, a little bit higher. Look at that. We just got a new reading. Effective as of today. That short float actually climbed a little bit here. 37.6% of the float short, this possible squeeze candidate, 6.08 days to cover. Yeah, this could definitely be kind of a multi-day squeeze here if any of this continues. Nova at the highs here, big rip, up 5% here today. So here, thank you, Jay. Solar, Bio, IWM, KRE, and home builders. Those are going to be your big things of the day here. It makes a lot of sense given what we just saw. Buy the gap. Here's the thing, Purgatory Park. We talked about this a little bit. My strategy right now is just trying to manage positions. Let's see what happens when Powell comes on. Could Powell overheat this and drive it? I mean, I suppose. Guess it depends what he said. The other thing, though, is that, could Powell throw cold water on this? You guys tell me. I don't know that I necessarily want to make any new large positions ahead of that Fed move.
And Ryan, thinking about it, says anyone looking at Z up huge on gigantic insider buys, and we're up 11.3% with 2.1 million traded over here in Z.
Okay. Let me bring Z up here. By the way, SPY pushing to highs here. So we are right there. Let me bring up Z here. Here is the move on Z. This was $43 yesterday. Boy, I've got some disconnected here. My price seems to be off here. Let me screenshot this and see what's going on with this. Let's check those insider buys though. So you had one here. This was reported today. This is director. New position, bought 2.34 million shares, almost $100 million on that new insider position here for Zillow.
Excuse me for a moment, guys.
Yeah, that was a monster. That was a really good call, Andy. Price on that purchase there, $42.76. Wow. Wowzors, that's big. Wow, no wonder that's being driven here. Got lots of euphoria here today. So there are a couple of people already this morning talking about looking for potential shorts after this number. Love to know, what is it that you're looking at? Have you taken anything? And what are your targets? Eva saying, yeah, me too. Just kind of managing what I have. That's the whole thing here, right? This has been a pretty good morning. You might have some stuff that you can sell, kind of raise some more cash, and we'll see what happens for Powell this afternoon. He bought ZG2. Zillow Group. Here's your insider. I don't have, interesting. I don't have it for ZG. But that might be in the filing itself. still really interesting stuff here. Zillow obviously having a great day. I'm wondering if the ZG, because that percentage looked correct, Zillow one didn't. Let me go ahead and report this here real quick. Nick, if you got anything, let us know.
Yeah, headline just crossing saying Fed swaps resume, fully pricing in 225 basis point rate cuts in 24.
Okay. All right, let me try and report this real quick. Sorry to try to do two things at once.
I was going to say, Ryan, 2-year chart and 10-year, 2-year yield lowest since April 5th. 10-year was actually the lowest this morning since, what is this chart? Since April 1st. So seems like yields are also lower, treasury yields lower back on the back of this CPI print. We'll see how that does and how they react after Powell, after the statement at 2 and then the conference at 2:30.
Bingo. We will see how that does. Apple continuing to push higher here. 213 now on Apple. Wow. Let me roll through the scanner here and see if we have any other day trades. GDHG, this is Goldhaven. This is a for you penny players. It's unable to get above its VWAP here. XTIA, another penny stock right at a double top. Wolf, this has been one of the good trades from yesterday. This on a little bit of pullback to the VWAP here. Cores, new highs here. This has been really good too recently. Look at the move on Cores here. This is why we try to find some of these smaller names. You can get some pretty quick double ups here. Cores looking pretty awesome on that 15-minute chart, continuing to push some new highs here. Did I take the Anne-Marie trade, the Anne-Marie butterfly? I did not. I didn't take any new trades yesterday from Anne-Marie, and yeah, kicking myself for that one, Voodoo. How about the First Solar trade? Did you take that one? The First Solar trade that she had? That thing popping pretty big here. I think that was right into her level. I have to go back through the literature here when I get a sec. Looking around. Some other stuff here. Apple, man, just it is so crazy that rip to the highs. Grats to any Apple holders, especially if you bought yesterday. No, you didn't take the First Solar trade. Okay. Anyone taking any new trades here today? Would love to know if you've taken anything new here today. Again, like I said earlier, I'm just kind of waiting, just managing some of the positions that I have.
Nvidia's starting to get a little bit weak on that move. Apple just continuing to rip. What a monster. And then we got Tesla and AMD have already started to pull back.
Okay. Hymns getting mentioned in the chat. Apple on the relative volume scanner. The Apple levered ETF also on that relative volume scanner. Big day here. Big day for that. For that stock. Donkey Kong puts, so DraftKings puts, DKNG puts here from Nate. Did we end up filling that gap yet? Not quite, huh? Nate, looks like you're going a little early here. Why not wait for the gap fill? I think we might actually get that here today. Just curious. Aramis looking like you're going after BMR. Lion Atlas took the NEM $40 call option. Okay. That's doing great. Bloom Energy moving really well here today. This was a great trade from the other day. Bloom, we've traded this a few times here. This actually makes for a pretty good trade. Okay. It is just about 10 o'clock. So we're going to go to our expert, Tim Melvin. Tim, happy Wednesday. How you doing today?
Happy Wednesday. I'm an expert now. Thanks for the promotion. I certainly appreciate it. We've got a temporary lull in the clouds down here in Florida. It's just been raining to beat the band down here. My dogs are not happy. But other than that, it's a great day down here. How's everybody?
I was going to say, Andy's also in Florida here. He said it was raining here. Glad you're getting a little bit of a break. Florida's one of those things you just wait 15 minutes, right? See if the weather changes.
Well, usually this time of year, but like I'm in Bonita Springs, which is Southwest Florida, and we haven't had any rain. And so we just got like a month's worth in a few hours last night. So
they saved it up and they dumped it all on you at the same time.
That seems to be the weather pattern these days. So sounds like you guys are busy with lots of trading back and forth. We had the CPI number this morning. It came in about where I expected, a little bit weak. If you looked at May's numbers, 3.4% year over year. It changed, by the way, nothing except general perception. The Fed's not going to cut today. Powell's not going to change his tune today. Your only window at a cut here, you've got one window. All right, absent extreme information, and that's the July meeting, which is sandwiched in between the two political conventions. After that second convention in August, they can't cut without dramatic data because of the political implications. So I think if we're going to get a cut, it's going to be in July, and that's going to depend what the data looks like. We've dodged massive bullets on energy in the CPI number. That could be about to change. If you follow commodities at all, natural gas broke out again last week.
Yes, it did.
And, broke the trend line convincingly for the first time in quite some time. And look, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago on the show. If you look at natural gas, it's electrification of everything. Well, there's only one way to generate that electricity, that extra demand for electric vehicles, for artificial intelligence, quantum computing, the reindustrialization of America, and that's natural gas. Well, you could do coal too, but that's going to be a tough sell outside of China and India. Renewable can't handle it yet. We're not smart enough to make the nuclear curve. And even if we were, well, you're still 5 years away if we got the idea to build a plant today. So it's massively bullish for natural gas. Natural gas prices continue going up. That shows up in everything. That could make the Fed's job a little tougher going into the fall.
Okay, real good stuff here. And Purgatory Park wants to ask a question here. Tim, what about the election looming recuts? You kind of already talked on that. Seems like the only meeting you think this is going to be feasible is going to be the next one, the July one.
And the key phrase in this is absent significant data changes. Okay, if you came in with a negative, extreme example, a negative jobs number, or something else that indicated that the economy hit the wall, then they could act a little bit quicker to cut rates. Okay. Barring that, they have said all along, we want to cut rates. The data is not allowing it. Barring a massive surprise, I don't see the data changing for several months.
Okay. There you go. And by the way, before you came on, in fact, before the market opened in the pre-market here today, I was saying I'm going to stay with my call. I don't think we get any rate cuts this year. I think we stay higher for longer. We'll see if I'm right, if I'm wrong. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to stick with it. 0 rate cuts this year.
Torsten Slok said that of Apollo. He's the chief economist at Apollo, the private equity firm. He said it back in February, and they literally laughed at him when he said it. Because we were still living in 5 to 6 cut dream world at the time.
Didn't Goldman start the year saying 7 cuts or something like that? Maybe I'm mixing that up.
They were 6 or 7.
6 or 7, okay.
If you looked at the Fed dot plots, which thank God that's not a dartboard because nobody would ever win a game of darts, right? I mean, the dots just shift and move constantly. It's a moving target. The dot plots were at 6 back in December, and the Merck guys were right there. So they're fun, they're cool to watch, but the days when the dot plot and the Merck's real money indicator, Fed watch, they don't mean much anymore. They've been consistently wrong. The Fed dot plots haven't been wrong on the first of the year in like 5-6 years now. It's kind of crazy.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna stay with my call here. We'll see. It's amazing how when they laugh at people and they end up being right. It's amazing how that seems to keep happening over and over and over again.
Well,
But I digress. Tim, you got any ideas here for us for stocks?
Yeah, let's get it.
Let's talk about them.
Let's get into now. Look, my view of the world hasn't changed in a week. It does
Of course.
rarely changes in quarters and years. So we're still looking energy, small banks, real estate. Okay, that's where we're looking, saying that's where the real opportunity is. So let's go to the insider buying data and let's see what the insiders are buying in those spaces, because that gives us a few ideas that we can make actionable right here, right now. Um, Insiders sell, by the way, just insiders buying, we track real carefully. Insider selling, we don't pay as much attention to, simply because, look, it's particularly in the tech companies, you've got a guy that their entire net worth is in that stock. So if they want to buy a new house, pay for a daughter's wedding, send a kid to college, any big, massive expense, they're selling stock. So one insider selling a few $100,000 worth of stock means absolutely nothing. However, there's only one reason to write a check, make an open market purchase, and buy more stock. You think it's going up, and insiders do not play for percentages. They only play for multiples. Right? When they make a purchase, they're looking for many times. So let's just jump in here. You've got FNWB, First Financial Northwest. This is a little bank. It's about as far north in Washington State as you can get, a little town called Port Angeles. If the river would freeze over like it does in Detroit, you could walk across into Canada. I mean, you're right there. The bank has gotten a little bit involved in fintech banking. Neither a plus nor a minus at this point in time, but the perception has been negative because every bank that got involved in fintech and crypto and anything related to that tanked. So the stock's sitting here, it's at 60% of book. We had some big insider buying. The loan portfolio is fantastic. They have plenty of capital, 2.83% dividend. Bank is super cheap. I've always considered, if this was a little bit closer to Seattle, somebody had bought it already. They're doing a sale lease back on the 6 branches that they do have on the Olympic Peninsula. That's going to bring more cash in, which they can use for buybacks. They just completed a 10% buyback and immediately announced another one. So you've got insider buying. You've got a very supportive stock buyback. It's not going to make you rich by next Tuesday, but there's a lot of upside to this bank from 60% of book. Even in today's subdued environment, deals are happening at for a bank this size, 1.25, 1.3 times book. So there's upside here.
Okay. Sounds like there's an M&A possible target here as well.
Oh yeah. Look, all banks under 50 billion are in play. Okay. Under 10 billion, you're either going to be a buyer or seller. You don't have a choice. You're going to be one or the other because you're reaching to the point where your scale is not big enough to compete.
Okay.
Right. When you look at the bigger banks, these guys can and do spend $500 million, $1 billion a year on technology. Right. So if you're small town bank and trust with 26 branches and maybe 3 billion in assets, you're not competitive. Now we've got the regulators, and maybe there's a break if we get a change of administration. This administration hates banks. There's no other way to put this. They're not a friend of the banking industry, and the regulatory burden keeps coming and coming and coming. And when you talk to some of these bankers, years ago they had an in-house counsel. They'd occasionally call outside counsel. Now they have a legal department and, 1 or 2 outside firms on call, and they're meeting with the regulators at least weekly. What they don't tell you, when you get to a certain size, over 25, 30 billion, the regulators take space in your headquarters building quite often. Like if you're $100 billion bank, you got a regulator in your building full time. So the regulatory burden has become massive. If you're a smaller bank, that's a cost that you can't afford anymore. So all banks are in play. It's whether they're a buyer or a seller. So one bank, this one's going to be boring. So if you need exciting, this is not for you. If you want to make a lot of money over the next 5 years, listen up. NB Bancorp in Needham, Massachusetts. It's NBBK. They did a thrift conversion offering last year, converting from a mutual thrift to a publicly traded bank. This is the most profitable event in all of Wall Street. And big CEO buy. Insiders bought a lot of stock on the offering back in December. Now, this thing's trading at 84% of book. They've got some commercial real estate and multifamily in and around Boston. Everybody's like, oh my God, that's terrible. Okay, not really, especially multifamily. Multifamily lending is a great business right now because all of that oversupply that was supposed to come online, that all the headlines were about in multifamily, it never got funded, right? You had new supply come online in 22 and 23. Housing affordability and rising mortgage rates filled those up. The stuff that was supposed to be built this year, the banks pulled back from. So multifamily, if you look at it across the banking industry, is one of the cleanest loan portfolios.
Okay.
Absolutely no difference here. Their office portfolio is not downtown Boston skyscrapers. It's medical office buildings and freestanding labs in Boston suburbs and in around the city. The bank's in Needham, Massachusetts, outside of Boston. So just 0.24% of all assets are non-performing. It's about 0.10% of the office loans, of all office loans, are delinquent. So really clean little bank, tons of capital because they still got a lot of capital from the offering. The way conversions work, they can't pay dividends or buy back stock till the anniversary. That's next December. No change of control for the next until 3 years, which is going to be December 2026. So it's going to be boring for a while. But the buybacks will be massive. However, most of these thrifts, it's a liquidity event. So you look out 5 years, something like 70% of them are taken over within 5 years of the original offering date. So you've got a strong M&A candidate here.
Okay.
If you don't have M&A, you've got a small bank with a ton of capital, almost no securities on the book, really clean loan portfolio, and management owns a lot of stock and is buying more.
Okay. That seems like all green lights, really.
Look, thrift conversions are the dirty little secret of Wall Street. Okay. This is so clean, so effective, and it creates value, right? The book value goes up from the offering price when the offering's done. So I try to buy almost every thrift that comes out unless there's some hair on it. What people don't know is that Peter Lynch was the greatest mutual fund manager of all time. You can't even argue with the numbers. 29% a year for 12 years. We've actually deconstructed their performance. I'm not the only one, but we did it. The growth stocks, the Haynes and the eggs, you remember all those cool stories. That was part of it. Chrysler was a part of it. He had a guy. This guy's job was to go around the country and make deposits in mutual thrifts because depositors get first shot at IPO shares. When Lynch left in 1989, he owned every thrift in the United States.
Okay.
Because he had been so big on the thrift conversion offerings. It's not exciting. You can't really trade in and out of these things, but a thrift conversion offering is a value creation event. It's a liquidity event for many of the insiders. Often you see these deals done so that they can exit. You just thrift conversion with an average age of officers and directors that's 70, they're going to sell the bank. Okay, so it's just a matter of holding
Makes
on
sense.
through the no sale, no change of control period. So there's that one. I got a couple for you on the energy side that are really cool.
Okay, awesome.
I'm taking up more time than usual this morning, but oh well.
Hey, if we got ways to make money, you take up that time. That's what we're here for.
I sat down, I was just playing with Insider buying this morning. I'm like, wow, there's a lot to do here based on Insider stuff.
Okay.
It's outside the stuff that you guys usually talk about, but this one's one of my favorites. It's Granite Ridge Resources, GRNT. Now, they are non-operating owners of tiny little interests in producing wells. Okay. Now, non-operating interest means they're not buying the whole well. They're not constructing it. They can be subject to capital calls, but they own a small percentage of over 2,500 rigs all over the United States.
Tim, I'm sorry. What was the ticker again?
GRNT.
Huh. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I'm sorry about that. Looks like I actually had an internet hiccup here. I'm sorry, Tim.
That's okay. So they've got rigs in every major production basin. They're in the Bakken, they're in the Haynesville, they're in the Permian, they're in Eagle Ford. So they're in the Dakotas area. They're in every important basin, primarily like everybody else right now. They're in the Permian because that's where the action is. Haynesville second, which is big. Haynesville's massive natural gas basin. And then Eagle Ford is their third. So they're where you need to be. There's over 2,500 wells in all of these basins. This gives you incredible flexibility because it's a lot easier to do a transaction getting in and out of 1 or 2% of a well as opposed to having to sell an entire company or entire well. So they've got flexibility. They can move around as they need to. The cash comes back out. This is a 6.89% dividend yield that should continue to grow over time. Management is they're smart guys. That's, we've sat in a bunch of their calls. They know what they're doing. They've thought the strategy out. They're growing production. And if they've got a well where production's starting to tail off, they get out of that well and get into another one. But they're not using a lot of leverage. We're trading at enterprise value multiple of less than 4. So it's a super cheap stock with a great dividend.
Awesome.
The dividend's going to continue to grow, and you're in on what's going to be a massive boom in U.S. produced oil and gas. So, and again, you've got insider buying where the chief executive's going in and saying, I really like the prospects of my company. Let's buy some stock.
All of the directors, literally going back till the end of May, they're all adding.
Yep.
All buying in there. Great stuff.
And then we also saw some buying Sunoco LP. They're fuel gas distributor, the big Sunoco sign you see the gas station. It was a truck by this limited partnership that delivered it. Okay. They recently bought New Star, which gave them a bunch of pipelines, some more terminaling and gathering facilities in the Permian to kind of spread out across the energy supply chain. So you've got an MLP that is one of the largest suppliers of gasoline to branded Sunoco, but also non-branded. They're the biggest supplier to 7-Eleven. 7-Elevens are all on a take or pay contract with them. So they're moving a lot of gas on a retail basis, but now they've added pipelines, they've added distribution. Their general partner is owned by Energy Transfer, which is one of the 3 kind of giants of the industry with Enterprise Products and Kinder Morgan. So you've got a strong general partner, plenty of capital. You're diversified across the energy supply chain. We are not going off of gasoline anytime soon. We are not going off natural gas. So this thing's going to sit there. It's going to grow the dividend. There's hundreds of millions of cost saves in the merger with New Star. It's paying about 6.
New Star. What was the ticker? I'm sorry.
New Star's NUS. Doesn't matter. They're gone. Sunoco bought them.
Okay.
6.63% dividend. Insiders own about 35% of this thing, so there's lots of skin in the game, and they've been buying more post-merger.
Okay.
And then for those of you that are interested in income, where you need more income, okay, now this one I'm going to give you, there's insider buying, there's consistently insider buying in this one. If you buy it, I want you to buy it. And unless you hear scary, the world is ending headlines on TV, when you turn it on at night to check the news or the internet, I don't want you to do anything with it because it's going to go up, it's going to go down, it's going to be volatile as hell. It's a business development company, which is getting ready to go through potentially a rough credit cycle. Now that could happen, but this one is FS Investments, which is a major alternative income player, and KKR. Okay. So you have access to the entire KKR credit system.
It was hilarious, actually. Andy this morning in the pre-show fist fight before we went on was saying how much he likes KKR.
I love KKR, and here's the thing about their efforts in both commercial real estate lending and middle market lending through BDCs. They've borrowed literally trillions of dollars and paid most of it back since their founding in the 1970s. Okay, to operate middle market companies. Now, they've been a major player in private credit, so they've lent out hundreds of billions. They know lending in this market space as a borrower and as a lender, so I think they're better equipped than a lot of other BDCs to navigate the troubled waters. They also, in both commercial real estate and middle market, all of the private equity affiliated ones, that's Apollo, that's KKR, that's Blackstone, that's Ares, they can do something their competitors can't do. If they get a defaulted loan, they can just buy the whole damn company, stick it in their private equity portfolio, and sell it later to recap the loan. That is just such a huge competitive advantage. So anyway, we've got insider buying. We've got a 12% yield. You're in a partnership with KKR on this deal.
Okay.
I'm very happy with that. And then one more, I'm wildly bullish on residential mortgages.
Okay.
Okay. If you are not wildly bullish on residential mortgages, you have not really dug into the residential mortgage securities market. I understand that, but it was FSK on the KKR deal is the symbol. I understand that mortgage demand is down because of higher rates, but that has no impact on existing mortgage-backed securities portfolio. So we've got Redwood Trust out here. They're doing originations of jumbo non-conforming loans with high down payments, really high credit scores. So money good, higher end of the housing market, mortgage loans. They're doing some residential stuff. They're doing some mortgage servicing rights. They've been around forever. It's probably the best of the non-agency mortgage-backed securities. But when you look at mortgage-backed securities, whether it's agency or non-agency, the market's changed, right? Because the Fed's not buying mortgages. The banks aren't buying mortgages right now. They're waiting to see what the new capital levels are going to be. So you've got two of the biggest players out of the market. You've got spreads at almost 2 standard deviations, which is incredibly wide. And you've got a market where you're the buyer of last resort, which is in fixed income, kind of always where you want to be. So this is the single most attractive section of the fixed income market right now. And using the mortgage agency and non-agency mortgage REITs, you can capture pretty much close to double-digit yields. And here in Redwood, you've got one of the classes of the industry, been around as long as any of them, like I said, since the 1990s, and we've got some heavy insider buying now. So just line it. But I'm not afraid of any of the bigger agency mortgage REITs in here. I like them all. But
what was the last ticker here?
RWT.
RWT. I think I misheard you there. Okay, here is your Redwood Trust down here at 650.
Yep. And again, that's totally, it's about the income. It's 9.89. It should grow over time. Exceptional management. And if you think about the management of this, they've been through the S&L crisis. They've been through the bursting of the internet bubble, which really disrupted mortgage markets, financing markets, as well as the stock market. And more importantly, they have been through and survived the great financial crisis.
So they've seen a few things. They kind of know what's going on.
I think they understand difficult markets. So, and again, it's one of those things where you buy it, you track the insiders, you hold on to it, you add to it if it gets weak. You do not panic out of this thing in bad markets. You use it as an opportunity to add more.
Okay.
Now, there's going to come a time in all of these agents, AG&C, Annaly, Redwood, where they're going to get hot, right? Because of the dividend yields, money's going to flow into these things. Don't get caught up in your own promo, okay? When they're flying higher, don't add to them on the way up. You add to these on the way down. So it's not a trading vehicle. It's a long time send me the money monthly income portfolio.
Yeah, and you know what? That is probably the biggest thing that differs from some of these stocks that we're talking about versus ones that we look at every day. A lot of the times on some of these fast movers, you do want to add as it continues to gain strength. But with these, they're more of a long-term play, add-on weakness. This is right up my alley, Tim. This is exactly the type of stuff that I am looking for. Yeah,
you've got to, even as a trader, you've got to understand that there's two ways of approaching this. One's as a trader. A trader, you buy strength and sell weakness.
Yep.
As an investor, you start with the credit and the survivability analysis. Once you have that right, you do exactly the opposite.
The opposite.
You buy weakness and sell strength.
Yep.
So there's two moving parts to this.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome stuff, Tim. That was jam packed. Thanks for showing up early, because you're right. You did have a lot to cover
took a little
here
extra
today.
time, so to whoever's time that's following me, I took. Sorry about that, but I just want to
You're
throw a
it.
bunch of ideas out
Wednesday
there for you guys.
reserved for Melvin. You could have taken all the time that you wanted. We appreciate
You
that.
should have never told me that.
I know. You know what, though? Sometimes it's one of those things where you said it and you're like, I wish I could have. No, I'm just kidding. For any of you that want to see more of Tim, I went ahead and posted a link to the Universe webinar where we go over all of the different services that we have. Tim, we can't thank you enough for taking time out of your day and also your expertise to help us out with some new long-term picks. Thanks so much, Tim.
All right, guys. Have a great day. Thanks.
We'll see you next Wednesday. Get your
All right,
list
see you
ready.
Wednesday. We'll be there.
All right, that is Tim Melvin. Really, really awesome stuff here today, folks. One of the pieces of feedback that I've got here is, I love the show. I love everything, but I do trading a little bit differently. I am a little bit more of an investor. And so one of the things that we're trying to do is bring you opinions and ideas from all over the place. We'll cover some of those fast movers here every day, but do not sleep on these longer term investment and dividend plays. Tim Melvin's been doing this for a long time. Like I said, be sure to check out the webinar with him and be sure to check out his service. Really, really awesome stuff. Andy, can you, how excited were you that you got at least somewhat of a KKR mention in there after we talked about?
Dude, I just found out that I don't care if I'm in the middle of the woods next to a gator, snake, or anywhere. I'm going to tune in on Wednesdays because I want to hear more of what Melvin has to say.
I'm telling you, I'm telling you, it's awesome. And this is going to be one of those things where you look back 5-10 years from now and you're like, man, that was a really, really good move. That was a really, really good move. That's the thing I'm looking for. That's the thing I'm looking forward to. Jay, you're a trader. You're a trader at heart. Long-term value plays are just only one of the parts of it. Like he said on here, he can do this multiple ways, right? So one of the things that I'm trying to do is expand where it is that I'm weak. Longer-term value plays are definitely that. So excited to add this to the fold here. It was FSK, Carmen. It was FSK. Andy mentioned KKR to me earlier here today. Sorry about the confusion there. Ticker that Tim mentioned was FSK. Okay, let me go back to the the day trading workspace. We'll kind of change gears here back to some of the faster movers. I noticed a lot of you were mentioning some of the stocks that were moving around here real quick. MTC, that was a penny stock. Smoke Tuna, good morning. Great to see you here again. That was a pretty nice pop there. What else do we have on the scanner here? DRCT. I think Crow, I saw you mentioning that one earlier. BMR, we already took a look at. MDIA. Say again?
There was a nice move in DDC while that was going on there.
DDC. What's going on here, Andy? Oh, that was a nice move.
I think it's more of what was going on there. We are resting on the 65, so we could potentially hold. We're cradling right now to pop yet again, but the nice move was I think the Crow called it, and it was an amazing call.
You know what? This DDC here, this actually had a really nice trade on that first VWAP pullback. Getting another one here now. We'll see if that holds up here. DDC, nice little move there. ENVX, this is in this one did come back in off of its highs a little bit there. Okay. Let's see what else are you folks taking a look at. Crowd, important to take profits on these big moves. Went red. So let's bring up CrowdStrike. SPY here, just looking at the broader market here, SPY still very, very green, up 1.2% here. 543, your current price here on SPY. CrowdStrike going red here. Again, there could still be another pretty huge move in here. We'll see what Powell has to say when he gets going. Nick, anything on the newswire that's worth reporting?
We do have some comments coming from Southwest CEO Bob Jordan. He said today that he will not resign as the air carrier faces pressure from activist investor Elliott Investment Management as the carrier is mulling changes to its open seating policy and other potential changes. He's speaking at a Politico conference. Politico actually today, guys, is doing a flight path state of the airline industry, and we had many executives there from the airline industry. Southwest CEO Bob is just one of them.
Okay, good stuff there.
I was going to say, if you take a look at a year-to-date chart, Ryan, Apple has overtaken the S&P 500 after lagging the whole year on a year-to-date chart if you compare them to.
Okay, let's actually do that here. We got a mention here from somebody yesterday. I can't remember who it was, but said that the comparison is something that they use all of the time. So let's just kind of do that here. We're going to rewind the chart to the beginning of 2024. Here is Apple. Let's go ahead and compare that to the SPY. Okay. So I actually have Apple here right just now, just kind of as we speak, retaking that here. SPY up 14.96%, Apple up 14.93% as of this reading. This pretty much all happening right here, Nick. Unreal. These last 2 days here, Apple really kind of catching up to that. This was actually a really good spot.
Hey, you guys, that comparison is the first thing that I see when I open up Pro, and I can basically get a feel for what the market's doing and what the bigger players are doing as soon as I open up Pro. It's amazing. And it's always sitting there, you know?
Yep. Last 2 days made my year. So Mingo, that's actually a really, sorry for clicking around there. Mingo, that's actually a really important point. We actually talk about that quite a bit. Apple retaking that, by the way, as we speak here, Nick. Really good stuff. You know, you never know where the real big, all you need is 1 or 2 days to kind of make your year. And you never know when that's going to come. And in fact, I was telling a story the other day. One of my mentors told me his biggest trading day ever was just some summer Friday afternoon. He was stuck in the office. His buddies were out, and there was, I can't remember what the stock was. Stock doesn't trade anymore. Trade setup came across. He took it. Biggest trade of his career. Had no idea that was going to happen. Stay ready. Stay ready. Your year can be made very, very quickly. Lynn saying, we'll tell you about the state of the airline industry. Run. Not what we wanted to hear. That is for sure. All right, let me move back over to the main workspace here. We'll see what's going on. DDC getting mentioned here by Crow, as that is still going. Let's see here. Indeed. Looks like it's stopping at about 140. Let's see what other type of trading action we have going on here. How is NVIDIA doing? I know we've talked a lot about Apple here today. Apple's still up at that 215 handle. Wow, NVIDIA will not be outdone, up 4.4% here, just ahead of Apple. Jerry West leaves us. Is that Jerry West passing away, Sydney? That would be really sad. Looking around here at Twitter, don't see anything notable yet. Just give me a sec. Don't really see anything great out there on Twitter. I do see some of the Twitter traders out there trading BMR. I guess we can check on BMR. Where do we finish on RNA? Are you guys frozen? No, you're not. Okay.
Where'd Ryan go? Wow.
Wow.
Ryan just blinked, disappeared.
So now we're the hosts of the show.
Yeah, that looks to be
Ordered fill.
That looks to be the case, and I guess I should probably take off the risk here. So DDR popping back to the highs. I don't know if Ryan just got shut down on his PC or what, because everything just went blank, went away. And we have Alyssa with Pro, so that's pretty awesome. But DDR, I believe, has 18 million float. Crow, great call on this one. This is amazing, amazing play. You called it right at the right moment, and you basically said it was done when it was done, and you brought us back as soon as it was ready again. So thanks for that one. The Nick and Andy show. Hey, Gerald, what's going on, man? And the market just continuing to beast out. We got NVIDIA still making new highs here, and Apple's consolidating a bit, but Tesla is still working its way as well. I mean, like, this is not a market to be short in. I'm really excited to see what we're gonna get to hear from Powell today, and I think this market is really setting up for some amazing volatility if we get any shockers.
Do you think, Andy, the dot plot means anything? Because I do believe we get that at this meeting.
Well, I would like to know, Nick, as far as that shocker, do you have anything that we might want to look for?
It is interesting to hear all the different Fed speak and all the doves and the hawks and what their base case is just for this year. Because they're all over the place, as you know. That some think that we still should be hiking, some think that they should be cutting, and some think that there should be a pause here. But the question is, how long should the pause go? Because everybody's going to say, no matter what they do, it's going to be political. But then how do they not be political?
Okay, so I just got to say the chat is hilarious. Looks like Ryan got called to the principal's office. Roaring Nick and roaring Andy. I mean, the comments are amazing. Ryan, the chat held us today.
Okay,
great.
Because my internet just absolutely died right there. No warning at all. Everyone froze up. Everything stopped updating. Thank gosh I wasn't in an active day trade right there. Thank gosh I wasn't in a trade there. But yeah, sorry folks. Internet just died on me. Don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, dude, everything went. The screen went. Everything was gone.
It was kind of funny. Like, you asked if everyone was frozen, and then poof, gone.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. Anyway, no harm, no foul. Didn't lose anything on that. So we're back. We're back.
And DDR still holding strong on the 65, rising, being cradled for the next potential move. If we can drop off below DDC, yes.
DDC, okay, yeah, that's the chart I got up here. It's building above that VWAP.
Yeah, we got 132 is the 65 that's been cradling it the whole way on this bullish move. It's when we drop off that, we drop down to about the rising level 111 and maybe even down to 95 cents and then come back and retest that 132 that we get to see what this is really made of.
I agree with you, Seekin. I have a very non-PC nickname for Comcast that I will just not tell you right here. I'm with you that I will look into that. I would much rather have fiber here. I'll be honest. It is definitely time to dump Comcast. That is 100%.
I know the price is kind of ridiculous.
It's unbelievable. I've actually talked to a Comcast former employee, and he was like, the executive team, he was in the meeting. They basically made a decision. Look, it's not worth doing customer service anymore. We're so big, we're going to get paid anyway. We can kind of lax on it. I'll be honest, any company that has an executive board that decides that's not someone you should be spending your money with. But don't have very many options. So
sorry, Ryan, but the Crow also said at this point DDC is in the danger zone, not a place to enter, in my opinion. That's exactly what I believe. I believe this 132 that we're bound to drop off of that and possibly reject there any moment.
DDC,
but if we can hold those other levels that I said when we drop off that level, though, rising level 113 and 96 cents, that's where we would see if we can bounce to get that sort of ping pong that I tell you guys about.
We'll see if DDC can actually break through this 140 level. I'd like to see some accompanying volume with that, to be quite honest. I know everything's okay because Apple's still holding up here. One of the first things I did is to see if my charts were working again as I checked on Apple. It's like, oh yeah, it looks like it's working. Looks like it's working.
I just want to say again, Nick, the information that you have is amazing, man. I love the news. I love how you bring it every day.
I was not even close to Nick's level at his age, man. It really is amazing. Stay with it.
We'll see Nick on his own MSNBC or Fox Business or something show one day.
That would be, I'll be like, hey, I used to work with that guy. Don't forget about us when you're on top, Nick.
Never. Right, exactly. Brian and Andy, I'll even invite you on the show. Don't worry.
Oh, look at that. We got our in right now. All right.
So basically, I told people a long time ago, Ryan, I said, my cousin actually, I said, one of these days I'm going to be on one of those shows, So now I know that my in is Nick, so I will be on one of those shows. Thank you.
Go. There you go. Sounds smart. Good morning, 13. 13 out on the West Coast. You just missed us. You just missed my internet completely die and drop out from under me. But nice little market pop here. 13 telling you think this is a blow off top in the market. We shall see. We shall see. Did anyone load up short instruments? By the way, I know we kind of talked about that. Maybe not the best thing to do ahead of Powell here today. Just been kind of managing my positions there. I actually did get stopped out of another part of my Chewy position. I didn't even realize that until I got back online here. Sold a few more calls here at a gain. We're basically making it so there's no way this trade can go red. In fact, if the remainder of the calls that I have go to zero, I will have still made money on this trade. So it is impossible to lose at this point. This means I can ride the rest through some of that volatility. We'll see if we get another trade up here by the end of the day. We're making too much money that the CIA is shutting it down. I would actually blame that on the FBI, not the CIA, but that's a pretty good comment there, Crow. I like it. I like it.
Getting the attention of the three-letter agencies.
150 here. Sorry, Andy, I totally talked over you.
No, I was just commenting that, you know, getting the attention of the three-letter agencies. It's those are good fans to have.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. All right, DDC here continuing to push. That was a great job. Biggest volume stick of the day on that 1 minute chart there. Great call on that one. Crow, you were all over it. Let's give you the register ring and the one up here. Great job for our community here today. Look at the reversal that we had here in Tesla, folks. Lynn and Randy, I'm curious to know how you folks did here on Tesla. This thing was really kind of hunting for a bottom down there at 170. We've reversed 6.5 points off that bottom. 6.5 points here on Tesla. Wow. Nice little move there. Lion saying, I'm selling this pop. Sorry, I don't trust the market. Lion, you are not alone. You had other people feeling the exact same way earlier today. There's a gentleman in here saying he was going to take some puts. Looked like he needed to kind of wait that out a little bit. We'll see. Again, the bigger event is still coming. I know there was a big event here this morning, but the bigger event is still coming here today.
So far, the market is just giving nothing to the bears. I mean, just tick by tick, just holding strong. And, you know,
being a bear is not an easy job. Being a bear is not an easy job.
I've seen a bear before walking out in the trail in Michigan, Ryan, and is sleeping and really sleeping well, too. So maybe you're wrong. It seemed like an easy job.
Okay. Well, the animal. Actually, I'd probably like to see one of those in real life at some point.
It was scary. It was a little.
Did he chase you at all, or is it was kind of chill?
No, I was with this really great guy that I met at Lawrence Tech. He's an amazing guy. But anyways, as soon as we saw these, he started to sort of go back, and I was like, no, we gotta go back together. You know, let's slowly back up together. We went back down the hill and threw our paracord up around a tree because there was we had no way out. This was our only way out. It was sort of a windy little staircase trail. And when we went down there, we had to pull ourselves up this very steep embankment with the paracord. And paracord, as you know, is really narrow. But we had no other choice. When we finally get to the top of that, out of breath completely, dude, turns out there's another bear out there. And he's just standing there, just looking at us. He's like, oh, man, that's...
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Yeah, so it was a little unnerving. It's amazing that I got to see bears in the wild. But, you know, right when I was out there for 2 days wanting to get back to the car, yeah, it was something. That was
okay. Here I can see them in Montana, which hopefully is going to be on the docket here pretty soon for me.
And there was a baby, and it was smelling the air. The mom was sleeping, just a big pile of fluff.
The mom's the one you don't want to piss off. That baby probably doesn't really mind.
Well, at first, the baby seemed like it was interested to come see us, so I was worried that it was going to.
Yeah, that would worry me too. That'd worry me too. Teammate Jacob Bear saying bear is friend, not food.
Yeah, true. Bear, unless you're
love you, Jacob. Love you, Jacob.
If you're long in the market, bear is food.
Okay. Tesla continuing to squeeze here. EVGO, by the way, this came off that 220 level right to the VWAP here on EVGO. Zillow continuing to move higher here. CZR continuing to move higher. Shout out to Zoltan who traded this one recently. Right before this pop here on the icon stake, this actually taking the next leg up to that 40 handle post that Carl icon stake. CZR looking pretty good here today as well. DXZY. Daily chart. This is just kind of coiling here, Crow. Would love to see this really start to push away. Would love to see that push away.
Sorry about that, Ryan. I was just wondering
good.
if DTC had halted, but it did not.
EDC, do not see that as being halted.
It's one of the most amazing things about these platforms like Pro too. If I don't have room in my broker, I have another screen with Pro on it that can show me anything I need to see if I need to pull that back up in my broker, you know?
Yep. Yes, sir. All right. Let's see. What else do we got here?
Market not giving up this rising 65 on the 15-second, yet holding strong, cradling price the entire bullish move here. It's at 543.69. I would really like to see if we are going to break down, you know, at least getting rejected off that level. So far, holding above that, pretty strong.
Okay, good stuff there.
I didn't choose the 15-second. The 15-second chose me.
I don't even know how you use that 15-second. Really impressive stuff.
If you can see what I'm seeing right now, Ryan, and I will screenshot and share it with you, it is just a cradle the whole entire way. When we come back and we retest, retest that 65 the whole way up. And the same thing when we have a bearish move. If the bears are in charge, then we're going to reject off that 65 the entire day. We'll drop off hard, and then we'll come right back up to it.
Do you want to share your screen? We can throw it up here real quick if you've got it ready.
I cannot do that with my broker right now, but yeah, we definitely.
All good, all good. Just wanted to throw it out there. Nice job, Rick. We'll give you a register ring on that DDC trade here. I'll be honest with you, the day trades here today, unless you were trading Apple, the small names really didn't give us the bigger moves. It was the big boys that really kind of showed up here today. Apple being the primary target there. I guess you throw Tesla on there. Wasn't NVIDIA really kind of trading up too? How's that holding up here at 125? NVIDIA looks like it's actually kind of rolling back over. Maybe this will come back in to the VWAP. Try and refresh Pro and see if I can get those session breaks back here.
So we just dropped off that 543.69 on the SPY, that 65 that I was telling you guys about. Now, what I would look for now is for us to see if we can get back up there to retest for the rejection on that price. And that's when we usually get the bigger, stronger move.
What was the price that you're looking for another rejection on? I'm sorry.
543.68 now.
Okay. That's going to be the top of the current candle that we're in.
We just came just shy of it on this previous candle, but we're not done yet.
Not done yet, folks. Market here. Things looking pretty good across the board here. Things looking pretty good. Amazon holding higher too. All right. You folks got anything else for new trading ideas? 13 in line. I know you guys are happy about the FMC performance. We added a little bit down there. FMC, a nice little pop, although it's given back some of its gains here today. A little more of a longer term play here on FMC. IREN runs every day, says Smoke Tuna. Boy, it kind of sucks not having the session breaks in here, but you're right, Tuna. It does look like this kind of moves every single. It's really been up since an 8 handle, up 5 points here over the last several sessions. MDIA getting mentioned. Let's take a look at that. Uh-oh. Yep, nope. I still see you guys moving. This is what happened the last time. Well, my internet absolutely just died. Here is MDIA.
Still see we got my man Mike, the blind trader, in the chat.
Oh, yeah. Ricky Zen living in living focus. What's your thoughts on SMCI being the next NVIDIA? Yeah, I don't think company wise it is going to be the next NVIDIA. SMCI has obviously been a absolute rocket of a stock. Was watching a video on some of the different server racks that they have. It looks like they have a pretty good product. I just don't know if anyone can really kind of match NVIDIA. I wouldn't be looking for SMCI to overtake that in any way. Sent you a screenshot to Slack last night. Yeah, saw that here. Sorry, 13, lot going on. Oh, right. So you were basically, do you want me to share this with the group? Was that is this shareable? 13, let me know. Firm kind of pulling back. So, and SPY still holding up here right near the top. I don't really see any. You guys got anything new on here?
Well, so far we got that perfect rejection on that 65 on the SPY. So just still waiting.
We got Apple pushing higher. Stop me if you've heard that before.
And Tesla as well, pushing back towards the highs.
Yeah, Apple actually trying to take another leg here, up already 4.18%. This was up 7% yesterday. Aaron mentioning BJ. This is BJ Wholesale Foods here. This has actually had if you look at the daily chart here, this had a really nice move recently. It's really kind of breaking out of the sideways channel. I've never traded this stock. This is not one that I really kind of follow. Stock performance has been great here. Anyone's got anything for Aaron on BJ, would love to hear it. This one, not one that I follow. Don't have an angle here for you, my man. Okay, so I can share this. All right, so this comes from 13. 13, I appreciate you mentioning this. One of the things that he had sent here was a tweet from one of the Houston ABC affiliates warning people that, I don't know what ERCOT is. Is that your energy company in Texas, 13? You'll have to fill me in on that. ERCOT also said in a recent report that the grid would be most stressed between 8 and 9 p.m. on August nights, leaving a 16% chance for a grid emergency, basically saying that rolling outages are possible this summer. So power company telling you that rolling blackouts are possible. One of the ways that you could potentially play this would be through Generac. This is GNRC. This is also a play for hurricane season, which I believe started the 1st of June. Someone would have to check me on that one. But this seems like a pretty good seasonality play here, especially with the added data point there about Generac, or excuse me, about the power company having to do some rolling blackouts this summer.
Yes, hurricane season starts June 1st.
Okay, so hurricane season does in fact start June 1st. Thank you, Alyssa, for the fact check there. I actually like this play. I think GNRC is not bad here. Would love to see this kind of maybe break out from this 150 here. But this comes from 13. 13, thanks for sharing this one. We'll talk about this in happy hour too later today. Aaron, you're looking for BJ Wholesaler to go to 100. What's the next catalyst that takes it from that 88 handle to 100? Curious there. Yeah, so Sal, have you done this trade before? Have you done this seasonality trade before where you take Generac over the summer, over hurricane season? Would love to know how that's worked out for you before. I think this added angle of potential blackouts gives it just kind of more juice there. DDC getting mentioned here again. Looks like DDC continuing to, or trying to curl here. Maybe we go back toward those highs, Smoke Tuna. See if we end up getting that there on DDC. So I was going to say, I just saw a whole bunch of new tickers here in the scanner. Looks like Regions Financial was on there. ERCT holding in here. RNA holding in here.
Got a big reduction in volume here on this DDC play, though.
This is the volume compressing. You know, we never want to see that for a potential trade here. But we've also seen that sometimes these really just kind of pop out of nowhere. Funky Cold Stocks already taken some of that GNRC from last week. You know, that this confirmation of potential rolling blackouts should actually just help that thesis there. Good stuff, Funky Cold Stocks. Love that handle. Just absolutely love that handle.
Funky Cold Stocks.
How's GME doing? We took a look at the meme stocks early, and shame on me, I haven't come back to them. GME actually curling back up towards the day highs. GME didn't really like that CPI print initially. Traded up towards this, 31.85? Is that your high print of the day here? Let's see, 31.82, beg your pardon. Looks like we're trying to go back to that. Let's see here. This stock just will not go away. Every time I ask myself, or we get questions, is the GME thing done? The answer inevitably is no, it isn't. Doesn't seem like that. AMC, how's that doing here today? That's just kind of at VWAP. GME, definitely the one to be trading here today. AFMD continuing to push away from its VWAP here on volume. Nova looks like that kind of stopped here. That was that possible squeeze action. By the way, 13, I don't think you were around for this. A new data print across the board on short interest as of today here in Pro. So if you had any stocks that you were monitoring for short interest, be sure to check that out and see how that short interest has actually changed recently.
I think Tesla just broke to a new high here. AMD, no, not AMD. Sorry about that. Apple as well, still pushing. NVIDIA,
Apple looks like it's trying to start another leg to the upside here. US. Sorry, go ahead, Andy.
Just not giving me too much confidence for a short position in the market.
Okay. UFO Alien 1970. Just really crispy handle right there. Hello, everyone. Take a look at the move here on Lyft. Lyft is one we've been talking about recently. Jay Rice, shout out to you. This has been a really great trade on Lyft here for you. One thing that I really like to see on the Lyft performance here today is that, you know, we've really kind of just been trading down. In fact, there's a pretty clear downtrend here. You can see. Actually, this is how we drew it the last time that we saw it. We did not close above that trend line. That sent us lower here. So what I like to see here on Lyft is we're really kind of trying to recapture this area. This was former resistance that should now act as support. If we can get above that, then the next step here for some more long action would be a close above that trend line. Let's invalidate that trend line, go more to the upside here. Looking pretty good. I have a lot of catching up to do when I get home. That is the only, you're literally voicing the only downside of a vacation that I can possibly think of. The amount of catching up to your real life that you have to do when you get back home. I feel it. I feel it. Rick mentioning MDIA. Let's take a look at it together. See if that is in fact setting up here. Daily chart actually looks pretty juicy. MDIA, yeah, Rick, the one thing, this to me is a very easy one, right? If we're able to get above that VWAP while also getting that volume to maybe expand or return to a previous level, perhaps there's a trade here. But if we just trade up to that VWAP and we really don't have the volume to take us over, I would look for this to kind of continue to roll over here. So maybe a setup, but definitely wouldn't front run this, would want to wait and see what the volume tells us in terms of the trade. No volume, exactly. Can't do it. Can't be buying it when it's no volume. Unless you really think that it's going to end up rolling.
I've got, I believe, about 6 positive trades in the futures and 1 positive trade in DDC today.
Okay. I've made no day trades today. I've booked gains on just Chewy and nothing. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I did make a new swing trade and I didn't announce it because we were talking to Tim. I totally apologize for that. I did take some of the GRNT. I paid $6.36. So GNRT, that was one of the ones that we talked about. Remember, that was the energy name that Tim had brought up. I did take some of that. I actually put a limit order out there that got filled, which was pretty cool. So did take some of that. So new trade there. That's going to be more of an investment than a trade. So really nothing to discuss there. Tim broke it down for you like a fraction earlier. Other than that, no day trades for me here today. That will change probably after the Fed. I'm going to be looking to trade SPY on some scalps right when that Fed decision comes out.
Dude, Tim got me pumped, man. I don't know about you guys, but hearing him talk, that's amazing.
I'm telling you, my entire arc of stock trading feels like a roller coaster, right? I mean, everyone looks at, oh man, trading, you can make a whole bunch of money really, really quick. And then you get into it and maybe you make some of that money, but then you also lose money. So you learn a really valuable lesson there and you kind of shift your strategy around. I'll be honest, the one thing that I have really, really kind of developed more of an affection for is buying things that I can hold for a long time. I mean, Apple is really the best example. Bought Apple back in 2014, said, I really don't think I'm going to sell this at all. It's split twice, actually. Been able to help my mother out with a lot of those funds. So like I said, time is your greatest asset as an investor. So I love hearing about plays where you can kind of just sit on them for a while, possible appreciation, possible M&A target, dividend on top of that. I mean, these are all great things that I want to add to my portfolio.
And that's really cool what you said about your mom too, Ryan. That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, look, that's why we do it, right? What else is the money for, right? The money is for helping out people that you love.
Exactly.
Okay, Smoke Tuna, you were asking me, Ryan, what do you think of GPro here as a swing? Okay, so first of all, the big elephant in the room, obviously the trend, right? Smoke Tuna, this is a very, very clear negative trend. I guess we could kind of play around with trend lines from the top here, but I really don't even think that. I'd actually tend to draw this one a little bit steeper here. This trend kind of matches the price. I think we're kind of a ways away from breaking that trend line. But so let's kind of flip over to see if we've bottomed out here. I don't really follow GoPro. I'm probably the last person in the world that does things that you'd want to strap a camera to my head and then watch the footage at some later date. I don't think I do anything that's appealing enough for that to be fun. So I don't really understand the product here. I don't really use the product here. For a swing, you got to tell me, what are we looking at here for coming off the bottom? Let me flip over to one of the other charts that I have here. We'll take a look at it. Tuna, so just to kind of start here with this one, if the bottom is in, I like this because you're really, really close to a bottom. Looks like you've got 2 consecutive days prior to today of buying volume that really kind of took us off the bottom. The one thing that I'd really like to see here, start giving me some closes over these moving averages. So, like even today, it looks like we were kind of rejected at the 50. Get me above 172. Get me maybe 2-3 closes in a row right above that moving average, and then we can start using these as the next level up. Not saying that that's not going to happen here. I mean, hell, that might happen tomorrow, maybe even later today, depending on what Powell does. Let's see. But what do I think of this for a swing? Looks like we're kind of at a bottom. I'd want to confirm that the bottom is in before taking it here. One of the ways that we can do that is looking for some of these moving averages to get reclaimed. First one I'd be looking at here is the 50. That value's at 172.
I have the GoPro. I have the Insta360. And basically with GoPro, they have a great subscription to where you can just, I think, unlimited cloud. So I wonder what that costs the company to do, considering that people are taking these really long videos and uploading them to the cloud. I've heard a lot of people complain about the time it takes to upload them, but either way, if they're uploading nonsense, and then since it's on GME or GoPro to hold that, they don't really have to go through and clean that up. So I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah. So that's an interesting. Okay, so a couple of things here, Andy. So first of all, I appreciate you jumping in on this on the discussion here for Smoked Tuna. Number one, you do things where the GoPro makes sense. Like you are literally kayaking around alligators. I can't even or crocodile. I'm not even sure which one it is. You do things where the GoPro really comes in handy here. And for that, it is absolutely awesome. I can't tell you how many videos have I probably watched from you that were shot on your GoPro? Probably at this point, 20 plus more, maybe. So, okay. And that's an interesting thing that you bring up there about the cloud service. I would imagine that that's got to cost them a considerable amount of money.
And it's not very expensive either.
What's that?
It's not very expensive either. It was around I can't remember right now, but I think it was only like around 100 something or 100 a year. So I don't know.
Yeah, that is interesting. You know, that kind of reminds me of like Marco Polo, right? That's one of those video apps where you can kind of talk to people. They've kind of changed their changed the way that they store some of that video. They're actually making people pay more or download them in order to save them. I'd imagine GoPro would go through something like that. Smoked Tuna, let's see if we can reclaim some of those moving averages and get off the bottom. If we do, I really like it down here. Very, very cheap price. Doesn't sound like the product's going anywhere. And looks like there's some more stuff to look into there. Let me know what you think on GoPro. What was your entry trigger there? What are you looking for there on GoPro? UFO Alien, you were asking about Lyft. Lyft is one that we've covered quite a bit here. Again, we already kind of talked about this. I like where it's at. I like that it's kind of regained this level back from December. Shout out to Jay Rice, who's been telling us about Lyft quite a bit here recently. Nice, strong day here. Would love to see this get above the 50 here. You're asking about recent highs, 1681. To me, again, that day that it put those highs in, we really weren't able to close above the 50. If we're able to look at the last couple of times that we tested it, look at this candle from May 8th. We blasted through it and then came all the way back down, closed beneath it, and then didn't test it again till June 6th. So UFO Alien, to me, the 50-day is going to tell the story here. If we can get a close above this, maybe we can change the way that the stock's actually trading here. And if we do that, perhaps a test of that $20 level might be coming up next.
And we got a perfect rejection off that 65 that I was talking about earlier in SPY. And we just found that support at the 365 as well, bouncing right back towards that now declining level at 543.16 to see if we get that rejection. But if you're looking at the 5, you got to take notice that we do ride the 9 or the 20, usually both. And at this point, we just now have a perfect bounce on the 20 on the 5 minute for the market. Well, actually, that's for the futures, but still, it's something to take note of.
Here you go. Here's your 5-minute chart for SPY. Actually, it looks like we're just above VWAP there. And stay tuned here because in a few minutes, Zunaid is going to jump on and we're going to do futures fever. So if you're interested in trading the futures, or Andy, if you're going to continue to do that, perhaps Zunaid can help you with that when we do futures fever.
Ryan, I was going to say we are getting some analyst reaction out of the CPI this morning. With that being said, Goldman, B of A, and JP Morgan have all updated their PCE estimates. I believe that comes either Friday or next week. I believe that comes next week. It's interesting that B of A only sees an increase between 0.14 to 0.16. JP Morgan's only at 0.13. Goldman is, I believe, at like 0.13 as well. So a lot of them are updating estimates. And it's going to be interesting to see if PPI confirms what the CPI saw, and then we'll see if PCE confirms what PPI and CPI saw. So there's still a lot of moving parts. And at this point of the stage, at this point of the cycle, any data point matters, even if it's the smallest NFIB small business survey, even if it's just retail sales, even if it's just car data. Any data point in this economy is what matters. So you just can't really pick out important data points to watch. Any data point is important.
Especially when they've told you that they're going to be data dependent. They're literally telling you what's important, and then they're living up to that. Zunaid, how you doing, bro?
I am good. What is going on, Nick? It's been a minute. Hope you're doing well, buddy.
Yes.
What's up? Well. What's up, Andy? Good to see you as well.
Hey, what's going on, Zunaid?
Good, good. You rocking out in the back? How often do you rock out?
This right here?
No, he's
Well,
talking
no,
about
I
the
meant your
guitars.
guitars. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I thought you were talking about what I'm rocking out back here.
No.
No, Zunaid doesn't talk about other people's hair. His is just so James Bond and money
Yeah.
like
Today,
no one else is on his level.
Yeah, I actually need to check my schedule on when I can go and get mine today. But you guys been all right trading wise?
Yeah, we've been good, man. I personally, Zunaid, I didn't make any new day trades here. I basically just managed some of my swing positions, which thankfully have been cooking. We brought Kim Melvin on to talk about some more investment opportunities. I took one of those, again, ticker GRNT, the energy play. So we've had a pretty good day from start to finish here after that data point. What do you got coming up here on Futures Fever?
Sorry, I just got a different email. So yeah, we've got Futures Fever coming on. I think we have a guest on as well. I know he said he'd be down, so we'll wait for him to kind of confirm and hop on. But we're gonna keep rocking and rolling at a trade that I took this morning. So we'll kind of get things moving along here.
Okay. Real good stuff. I just want to thank everyone for joining us here today. You folks heard from the other people that we had on here. Our chat really kind of carried the day. Thank you very much for doing that. And then perhaps most importantly, Andy, great stuff here today. Great job. Really appreciate you jumping on. I actually got some more reports that people have got those coins that you sent out. Really appreciate you hooking up our community. Absolutely awesome. And then, of course, Nick, big news flow day here. Nick showing up early. Guys, just so you know, Nick was slacking me before the show, like, hey, we got a big news day. Can I come on? And I was like, of course. Of course. So we got a whole bunch of eager people. I can't thank you guys enough. Awesome stuff. Andy, I'll see you tomorrow. Nick, I'll see you tomorrow. Zunaid, I'll see you when I see you.
All right, pal.
All right, you guys.
Thanks. Take care, team. Bye. All right, let's get things rocking and rolling. Here you go. I've got my charts shared. Now, again, if you're unfamiliar, this is an Futures Fever show sponsored by Apex Trader Funding. What is it? We'll always do this at the beginning of the show so you know what we're doing. It's pretty much a eval company, right? So you can go ahead right now. They have 71% off for 6 days. Make sure you use the link that you see in the QR code. Use the promo code Fever. It really helps out the show. It lets them know that we're sending some traffic their way. And I'll talk about how I utilize them and how I actually use my hard-earned money to pay for the evals and also for the funded account. So the way that it works is pretty much you can get an eval for, say, $50,000. Let me scroll down here. Excuse me, for a $50,000 account. Now, I don't use that one. I use this one here is the account that I use. So $50,000 eval account, it costs about maybe $40 now with 71% off. And then if you pass it, right, so if you get the target of 3,000, you don't hit the drawdown of 2,500, you get the opportunity to go from eval phase to a funded phase, which you can pay a lifetime for $165 for the 50K or monthly for $105. I always pay the lifetime again. That is my money that I pay. Apex doesn't give it to me for free. Benzinga doesn't give me money to pay Apex or anything like that. It is my money that I give them. Matter of fact, let me see here. Let me see something here. Where is... I probably should have done this before the show, but give me a sec. Oh man. Okay, I was gonna log into my bank account to show you, but anyway. So that's what it is. So make sure you guys check them out. If you want to trade with us, you absolutely can. We'd love to kind of trade alongside. So here is what I took. You can see anything that says PA, right? It's a funded account. So it's accounts where I pass the eval, which just starts with Apex, and then I went ahead and paid for it. So for example, on this funded account, I'm up about $1,700. I did go ahead and take a trade earlier today. I believe, was it on this account? Yeah, where I made $500. Now I'm down here. This was $300,000. So I'm down on that one. But we're up here $1,000. So, you know, we're keeping it moving. We're trying to be patient with it, trying to take smart trades. The trade that I did take was a scalp off of, let me go ahead and show my settings. Trading, executions, apply, all. Thank you. Go to the 1 minute so you can see it. So what I did pretty much is I expected resistance to be at this whole number of 19.5, right? Call it right around there, give or take. I went ahead and went short, as you can see, at 19.497, And then I went ahead and took a 10-point scalp practically when it came right back down. I could have done that many times. As you can see, it was kind of consolidating. But I just went ahead and did it once, made my $500, and that was it. That was all. What the accounts that I have, I still need to sync them up. I've actually been traveling. I just came back from an Indian wedding last night. So I was in Houston, Texas for my cousin's wedding. And so just kind of getting back in the groove of things. But anyway, that's what we've got on that side. Let me see if there's any questions in the chat that I can answer. Yeah, feel free to kind of fire away any questions that y'all may have. Kind of patiently going to wait and see if there are any opportunity. I think the last 2 times I've been on stream to trade, I have lost money. I'm pretty sure. Let's see how this kind of goes. Because one thing I don't want to do, and I hate doing it, is kind of forcing trades just because I'm on the show. But like, I also want you guys to see, you know, how easy it is to place trades and all that good stuff as well. By the way, is anyone in GME? Is anyone in GameStop? Oh boy. Oh boy. You guys want an update on my positions? Remember, I think we did a stream with, yeah, we did do a stream. I know that. And I shared my L's. So let me kind of share where we're at. I can share my positions. I can share my updated positions. I don't have any problem doing that. I've got about, ooh, actually that could be fun. Let me share things along. Again, this is my YOLO have fun with life account, right? Let me actually, just to give you guys an update on what's happening there. All right, so this is an update on what is going on in my YOLO account, if you will, right? So I still have cash position. You know, Rory, Kitty, and I, we like to have our cash position in case we want to take advantage of certain things in life. But anyway, we've got that. Obviously, these are in the money, right? I have 6 of them. Now I sold 2, aka $50 calls. So that's a call spread that I created, but I still have 4 single ones. Now I do have a little bit of YOLO on AMC as well, just, you know, just in case. But so far it hasn't really been doing much. And then of course, Elon, hood, our hood position. Mwah. Wonderful. We took it live on the trading show that we do here with y'all. You can see the price that I paid, $4.95, up almost 50%. I have 3 of those. We're doing pretty. I'm going to sell one maybe around $25 spot price, and then another one maybe around 30. But I do plan on holding at least 1, if not 2, since I have 3 for Q3 earnings to see how beautiful those numbers are. Sorry, Q2 earnings, I'll be reported in Q3. They actually released numbers yesterday about their inflow of cash and numbers updates on for May. So that was kind of fun to see. But let's get back to trading. All right, GameStop. All right, GameStop. What you gonna do, baby? Okay. Things could get fun. I believe GameStop's Investor Day is tomorrow, right? So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Again, not financial advice. This is money that I'm okay to lose. So I like to have a little bit of fun in life. All right. Let's take a look at crude. That's cocoa. That's not crude. This is crude oil. This is crude oil. Oh, crude to the downside. Hello. Let's see if we do that. If it'll come back and test it. Could be interesting. Oh, you know what? There's this. Where is it? It's was it something like this? How do I kind of... There you go. I just recently learned how to do that. Can you believe it? I'm out here just kind of manually doing everything in life. A little magnet there. I never really tested it back on that. Did it cross on 13 to 15? Nope, it just kind of came coming down. What's platinum? What is platinum here? Oh, PL, that makes sense. Okay. When was this? This was on Friday. Bounce, bounce. This was on Tuesday. So this was actually in the morning while I was snoring that they had a nice little trade there where support then turned into resistance. I'm actually curious. I don't know how many. Let me trade this on my bigger account. Let's go to this one and see if we can. Oh, okay, yeah, that gives me enough. So here's what I'll do actually. I'll go short one more, 250, 250. There we go. That's much better in my opinion. All right, so we're short platinum futures. We'll see if this, you saw the nice pop drop. I'm wanting this to be resistance just like it was in the wee hours of the morning and kind of come on down and test this previous close. That's what the red dotted line is down here. Nice, Seekin. I didn't know you were in you're in Houston. I went to the Woodlands, so I stayed at Sugarland, and then I went to the Woodlands for certain festivities, if you will. Well, it looks like we will have a guest join us. By the way, we are going to have, and I know I've been talking about a lot of stuff, right? So the trading competition, that's looking really good. We kind of inked that deal, and signups for the trading competition should go live in about a week or so. The actual trading competition itself will not start till I think October, because they're actually doing some cool stuff that I can't talk about just yet. So we'll be kind of marketing that for a few months. But you are going to get a trading show with me. You will get a trading show with me. So I will be back on trading stocks, options, just like we used to back in the old days. So I've kind of created some time. Jay's Life, you would love to be a guest. Dude, send me an email, Jay. Send me an email. Zunaid at Benzinga.com. Send me an email. Zunaid, are you on all the time at this time? Yes. So Wednesdays at 11 o'clock, we do this show called Futures Fever. I'll be honest, there are 4 brokers that we've reached out to do a show because, you know, each broker has like a different type of specialty, right? There's some brokers that are great for short selling. There's some that are great for options. There's some that are great for stocks because they have execution that might be a little better. So a lot of cool things happening. So we 100% by the end of June, you will see me back. I don't know if it'll be on live trading or if it'll be like a separate show for 30 minutes after the fact. But you will definitely see me trade more with y'all, which I'm excited about because I get to take some time off of meetings and calls to join Ryan and company. So we have that. I promised you guys that we would work on a boot camp. So we are working on that. I'm hoping to launch that in July. We're, again, just waiting for some sponsorships. Something I will say is you'll see more sponsored content, but it'll be informational. You know what I mean? Like, so for example, the boot camp that we're going to do for options, it'll be to teach people how to trade options. Obviously, you can't learn it all in one day, no matter what someone tells you. But we'll give you the basic necessities that you might need. And then we'll have a platform to where you can trade those options, right? So that way we're giving you value, and we want to make sure that we're taking advantage of the time that we have as well. Awesome. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready, man. I'll go ahead and bring you on. All right, brother. What is going on? Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. How are you? Can you hear me okay? Is
I
everything
hear
working
you
fine?
perfectly fine. Yes, we
Awesome.
are good to
Awesome.
go. Welcome back. It was good conversation
Thank you.
last time you were here. I know I think you were waiting for a payout at that time from Apex,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Give me an update. Give me an update. I know you kind of mentioned it, so even I don't know exactly what's
Yeah.
going on in your life in terms of trading, but tell the folks at home
Yep.
what's going on.
Okay. So I don't remember the exact date that we talked, but
Yeah.
since May, so it's been like a month and a half. So I've gotten $8,000 in payouts.
Nice.
So yeah. So what I do is I'll request them. So when you have an account, right? Let's say, for example, a $50,000 funded account. The trailing threshold is $2,500 on that account. So what they require you to have is at least $2,600. So it leaves that little $100 buffer before you can request a payout. Now with them, they're a little different because that payout actually eats into your drawdown. So you have to be careful. But for the first, I think 3 months, you can request, the maximum you can request is $2,000 on a $50,000 account.
That's
So
correct. Yep.
the way that I do it, just so I can kind of make sure that I'm able to trade at all times. So when I requested those payouts, it took, I think, almost 2 weeks, maybe close to, between 7 to 10 business days to get the payout approved and, direct deposit. And so I didn't want to trade those accounts while the payout was being processed, because if you end up on the account before your payout is approved, the payout doesn't go through. So I've kind of been offsetting, or I'll trade, 2 accounts that are, while the 2 are being, approved, whatever, I'll trade the other 2. So I'll kind of always, have them going back and forth. So and then I currently have 4,000 that I requested on June 2nd. It's June 12th, and they're still pending. So it does take a bit. I've noticed that I think, with their 90% off promo over the last, month or so, they've probably been getting a ton of new people, probably a ton of new payout requests, and that's probably been overwhelming their team a little bit. So they are a bit slower. But once they approve, it's typically pretty quick to actually get direct deposit into it. It's just getting the actual approval that takes a bit.
That's awesome. Well, there you go. We told you guys that are watching at home that we'd get you kind of honest reviews on what it's like to trade on Apex. I'm still waiting to kind of request a payout because every single time I get close, man. So I was just telling the people. So I've got a few funded accounts here. I need to actually get on the copy trading life. I haven't quite done that, but like I'm up $1,000 on this one. I'm up I think about 2,000, close to 1,700 on this one. So like I want to, kind of like you mentioned, you when you take a payout, if you're just at say 5,300 or 53,000, when you take that to the payout, it doesn't leave you much drawdown whatsoever. It's kind of a risky thing. So I want to get to like 53, 54,000, ideally 55 grand in every single account before I take out the $2 grand. But man, it's tough, dude. It's tough to not just like kind of go in. And if you want to share your charts, you're welcome to. But before we get into that, are you in GameStop? What's your cocaine level? Talk to me.
So if you remember, so there was a period. Right now I'm in GameStop. So I'm in a $50 call for the 14th, which I entered earlier. I'm up 68% on that. And then I have a $70 call for the 21st, which I'm up 57%. But I've kind of trimmed down my position. If you remember, when Roaring Kitty was supposed to go on stream. So the day before that, I had gotten in at like $28, $29, and it had ran up a ton, and I secured like 60% of my profits because it was a huge day. And part of me was like, just take all the profits, because a lot of the times events that are really hyped up get bought up in advance and ends up being like a sell the news kind of event. And part of my dad told me to do that, but I ended up holding 40% of my position. So it was just profit, but I ended up obviously that, went to zero basically.
No, I did the same thing. I was actually on stream here and I shared my position live. I was up $6 grand the day before.
And
I was up about $6-7 grand the day before. I was down $6-7 grand the day after. So not fun whatsoever.
Well, are you asking because I'm just looking here at my phone and it looks like it's
it looks like, I mean, it did, right? It cracked the $32 resistance level that I have drawn here. So we'll see if it kind of holds above it and if it kind of continues marching on. I think Citron, obviously everyone knows now, they are no longer short. They said they would go short around 45.50. So if it cracks 50, it can get a lot of fun. We're obviously $18 away from that. And AMC is just kind of lagging, right? It always has, but We got to wait for this crack of say 550. I'm not logged into my trade station, but I have about 500 shares at around 5 and some change. Should have had 1,000, but to be honest, I kind of got screwed the last time I tried to trade this one. So
I usually will. AMC's a really good sympathy, and I usually would trade them in parallel, but I've noticed, I think it's at this point, because I mean, GameStop has all the catalysts, and AMC is at this point just purely a sympathy, right? So I think it's not getting
here are all your sympathy plays, right? So GameStop leads the way. Then you've got AMC, FFIE, which is down at the moment. BB, Bed Bath and Beyond. There was some impossible, hot dog news with Nathan or whatever. So I'm surprised that one's not really popping as much. And of course, Reddit. Reddit's actually higher than GameStop, so that's interesting for me. Maybe it's more than just that. But we're actually, we're clearing this resistance level of 66. So fun stuff there. But all right, man, let's go ahead and share your charts. We can get back to futures here. I'll kind of show you what I'm currently trading. You ever trade platinum?
No, but let's take a look at the chart. So I don't actually I'm not at my work setup,
or I'm
not at my typical desk.
I can share my stuff, man. No worries.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. So here are the platinum futures. Let me go back to this one. Yeah, so here's why I went short, and I should have, if I was awake, I would have gotten short earlier. And you can shit on my trade if you want. I have no problems doing that.
No, absolutely.
No, but I mean it though. So you have support here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Crack. Resistance. Now it did pop up here at 8:30, right? You can see the volume kick up, down. Now what I'm wanting, hopium wise, is for this resistance to kind of continue and for it to reject and kind of test the previous close. Tell me what you think about it. Tell me what you would do differently so the folks can get a different perspective from different people.
Okay, so first I want to ask, what is your stop on this short position here?
It would be right above this wick. Yep, that's correct. So it's a 1-to-1 trade pretty much.
Okay. And then you're kind of, okay. So what I quickly see here, so what I like to look at, number one, is I like to look at volume. So I'm seeing a pretty sharp volume spike, a lot of buying volume coming in on that push up, and then volumes kind of dying down on that pullback. So see, this is a tough trade because typically when I see that, I'm like, okay, the bullish move had volume, and now we're pulling back and consolidating on lower volume, so we could be seeing another leg up. But it also does kind of look like a bear flag to me if you kind of zoom in and almost like draw like a little flag on the pullback. So I'd probably also draw in a few more levels. That's typically how I trade. And you know what I would draw, if you look on the left-hand side, probably on the very far left, you can see that there was some resistance on those candle wicks around like 12 p.m. on the 10th. If you could draw like a little zone and extend that all the way, was that resistance what we rejected earlier on this push?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, right here, that purple sign. Yeah.
Oh, actually a little bit higher. So around like 968.
Oh, that's going to be here. Yeah, that's what it is. This is 968 right here. That's this purple line here is my resistance line. And then right above it, the blue one is the...
If you move the chart up a little bit.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Okay, and you see on the left, right, and then go to the top where it pivoted. On
right
that
there.
Area, to the right a little bit.
Where am I going? Like right here?
Yes. If you draw a zone from the top of those candle wicks to their candle body and then extend it, does that overlap the?
I don't know if I'm drawing it properly the way you'd like, but
I was just trying to see if we pulled back into that same area before we went down. But
I gotcha. It looks like this wick didn't quite touch the upper side of it, but I mean, again, looks like this trade is kind of going to the other way that we typically would like. Now, the one thing that I can kind of think of on this side is, hey, when you continue to knock on a door, it doesn't really work. Sorry, give me 1 second. I got to respond to this Slack.
You're fine. Yeah, and then I would be looking to see what the volume looks like on the close of this candle. See if it's...
Yeah, we'll see how this closes. Again, we may get stopped out before it even actually ends up closing, but taking a look at the NQ side of things, let me know if you're seeing anything. This consolidation was going on for like, maybe 20 minutes. We kind of popped up, waited, then kind of made the move up, tested it, and then went to the upside. Give us a solid 50 points. Obviously, I didn't really trade it.
I can probably pull this up on my phone because I was looking at NQ as well. So yeah, what was nice about that pullback that you have. So I also use EMAs, right? So I have the 9 and the 21 overlaid on top of that, and then I consider the area between the 9 and the 21. There's kind of I have it kind of like colored in. I guess it's kind of tough to see. Let me see if I can actually hold up my phone to the camera. But what so when that pullback kind of falls inside that support area, and then it also aligned with some support levels I had too, and that so we kind of had that same bounce that we're looking at there. I think we're both. I did take that play actually earlier, so I think. Man, I wish I had my computer with me because I could pull up my NinjaTrader and kind of show you my positions. I think right now I have 11 performance accounts. I think total funding is like close to 1.4 million right now. It was 1.5, but I had a little bit of issues with the servers where I was putting in a trade and then I tried to close it out and it would just say like trading not available. So I had some issues there, but it's been known that they're because I trade off of Rhythmic. I'm not trading off of Tradevate, right? So their servers have been having some issues. I think it might be another thing being overwhelmed, but it was something interesting. You mentioned copy trading, and I actually don't copy trade, right? I've even traded individually up to 5 to 6 accounts in a single day, and the reason that I prefer not to copy trade, for a lot of people it's very lucrative, but for me, I like to spread out that risk. So if I have like 5 or 6 accounts, if I have like a red trade, in one, and then it's not carried over into all of them, but of course it's kind of like you take the good with the bad. If I have a great trade, it's not carried across all of them. But I think for me, when it comes to emotions, having the accounts not copy traded is like when I'm in a position, and I know that position pulls back, I'm going to see red across like 10 accounts. For me, that's not how I want to trade. So I kind of just spread the risk out, doing one at a time.
And would you ever consider copy trading or no?
So I told myself if I can get consistent payouts between 6 to 10,000 for a few months consistently, then I would kind of scale up to copy trading, but not some of the crazy numbers that you see people trading like 10 accounts. I think I would probably copy trade 4 and then see how that goes. That way I can kind of do 4 at a time, like have 4 in payout and then have 4 being copy traded. So I can kind of be more efficient, get more payouts, but not expose myself to the point where it's affecting my trading from like an emotional standpoint and things like that. So
that makes perfect sense. All right, man. Well, next time we have you on, definitely would love to kind of have you share your charts because I know you got some cool indicators and things like that as well. No, dude, you're good. I know you're on the go. But appreciate you, man. Tell the folks though if they want to kind of learn more from you, and I know you've got a Twitter account and different things like that. Go ahead and plug yourself in.
Yeah, absolutely. So my Twitter is Stockman Trading. I've been on Twitter for a couple of years now. I post several times every day. I have a lot of recap videos. I have my own custom script that I use to kind of give me additional confidence when I trade. All the stuff is on there. YouTube channels and the link as well. So just give me a follow, and you can even DM me. Pretty responsive. So thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Absolutely, buddy. I appreciate it, man. You take care. Bye.
You too. Bye.
All right, chat. We did go ahead and take an L on the platinum trade. Again, I guess I just am not a profitable trader when I'm on stream. It's kind of unfortunate, but we'll see what kind of keeps on happening with the NQ. I will continue trading, but something else to keep in mind: GameStop. What is going to happen? Is anything going to happen? Do we get some type of news tomorrow with Investor Day? I don't know. But again, make sure you guys check out Apex. 71% off of their evals right now. It really helps out the show, really helps me out if you go ahead and type in Fever. And just an update on what type of content is coming up. Let me see here. What type of content's coming down the pipeline with Benzinga? You've got the trading show, an additional one that I mentioned. That'll be stocks and options. Hopefully a sports betting show that I'm really looking to start on July 1st. I think that could be a lot of fun. And a boot camp for options learning could be a lot of fun. Matter of fact, let me see. T3. Give me 1 second. Let me check something here. Let me check something here. We've got SIBO. How many of you guys type 1 in the chat if you love trading 0 DTE short-term options? Please. Let me get a 1 in the chat. Because we've got a boot camp coming up with SIBO on this. Where is it? All right, so I need you guys to do 2 things. If you're interested in it, 1, I need you to go to that link and hit the notification bell so that when we do go live, that's actually going to be on the 18th, I believe, right? So we've still got a little bit of time. It's going to be next week. Then I'm going to go ahead and host that with SIBO, so you know it's going to be a good one. And then if you're interested to get updates on it, you can go ahead and register right there. So that's the virtual event. So make sure you guys check that out. It'll be a lot of fun. It's going to be great. We've got that. We've also got another boot camp. Like I'm telling you, June is going to be insane. The second half of June, the content that we're bringing is going to be crazy. We've got SIBO with short-term trading. We've got Direction with Gianni and Elliot coming back so that we can learn how we can use leveraged ETFs to make our trading a little bit more profitable. Then we also have T3 Live doing a webinar. It's going to be Sammy that's going to hang out with us, and he's going to show us his strategies to go ahead and trade earnings, right? So it'll be a lot of fun. What type of other content do you guys want? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. We'll make it happen, I promise, because I'll find a sponsor that's in the niche of whatever you guys want. That way Benzinga is okay with me spending my time there. And the sponsor is also happy having eyeballs that you guys provide, right? Give me 1 sec. Sorry, I just get so carried away with Slack sometimes. It throws me off. But all right, chat. Should be. But so anyway, yeah, we've got the SIBO short-term trading. I think that's going to be spectacular. Then we've got the Direction ETF trading. If you're into leverage trading on that aspect, that's going to be sick. We have T3 Live, Sammy, who's going to teach us how his strategies are when it comes to playing earnings. He has a spectacular record. He actually called out Robinhood as well, Elon, if you're still here. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And I think we have one more. Let me check my calendar. Give me 1 sec. I think we have one more webinar coming up. This one isn't confirmed yet, but there's one with Tema ETF, which is they have some new stuff coming out, but they also have like the biotech space. If you're interested in that, we have that coming up at the end of July. So that's not going to be in June. That's at the end of July. And then, we're looking to do like something with startups as well. So if there are companies in the startup space that want to learn about, or that want to kind of get eyeballs, and if you guys want to spend like, invest $100 or $200 into a startup, kind of like a Shark Tank vibe, if you will, we'll have a little bit of fun with it. I think that could be great for us to have some fun with as well. So a lot of stuff happening. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. But yes, Sandra did call out shop. So that's awesome that you remember that. She actually emailed me, I believe. So there's a lot of good stuff coming. But all right, y'all. Appreciate you. Oh, you know what? Should we? Here, you know what? I'm going to continue streaming here for a second. All right. The trading aspect of this show has now concluded. We are going to, let me move just do like a regular Benzinga live. You guys remember when I told you I was, betting on underdog fantasy? So I'm going to share my screen on this. So here it is. I think the slip that I took live with us, results, pick them. I ended up losing. I think it was maybe this one that I took live. When was it? It was like last Tuesday or something. Maybe the 28th. I don't know. I took something. But anyway, I did win a couple, right? Where is it? So I won this one for 300 bucks. So I started this account with 1,000. So I'm up 130 on it. And the way that I do it is, as you can see, majority of the times I bet 50 bucks, 50 bucks, 50 bucks. And I'll lose, right? I'll lose majority of the times because it is a tougher thing. But the funniest thing, chat, the funniest thing that I want to show you is how I tried to predict 8 correct things to happen. All 8 were incorrect. I kid you not. I kid you not. Or excuse me, 6. So these were 2 separate slips, but the same positions or the same bet. Bet 60 bucks on this one to win like, I don't know, 3 grand. Every single thing I got wrong. It was hilarious. I looked and I was like, there's no way that I'm this bad. Turns out I am. But then obviously I won 300 here, won 300 here. Got really close. If I had one more correct here, I would have gotten some money back because it's like an insurance thing. I won some here. I won some here. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and bet again. All right, let's kind of see what we've got going on here. Da-da-da-da-da-da. All right. Okay, so we've obviously got the NBA finals going on today, right? But I'm actually going to maybe bet on some baseball as well. So we've got this guy going for, let's say, over. Take him over. See how it's been doing. Had a great game against the Royals, but everything else has kind of been meh. Had a home run, had a 2-run shot. Take him on the over. Let's see. Maybe have a little bit of fun with golf here as well. Now, let me see, where is the NBA side? See if there's anything else. Oh, you know what could be interesting? You have Porzingis. Porzingis may or may not play. If Porzingis doesn't play, Al Horford gets more minutes. You know, if Benzinga, if Porzingis doesn't play, Al Horford should get more minutes. And I don't know if this line reflects that. Now, Underdog Fantasy, they're a great company, so they'll, you know, adjust the lines as soon as the news comes out one way or another. Whether he plays or not, I expect this line to be moved maybe half a point to a point. But I don't know. A part of me kind of wants to take this higher. Let's see. What do you guys think? Is he? You know what? Here's what we're going to do. This is higher. Okay. I'm going to ask you guys. You guys are going to decide how to have my slip built. We're going to have some fun with it. And if you lose me 50 bucks, you lose me 50 bucks. Al Horford. Am I going higher or lower on points right here? Am I going higher or lower? All right. If you want me to bet the higher, type in higher. If you want me to bet the lower, type in lower. Let me know. Let me know, let me know, let me know, let me know. And whenever we get to 5, or I guess in 30 seconds, whatever the vote is. Matter of fact, how can I create votes on here? I don't know how to do it. I might have to go to YouTube to do that. Let's see. View on YouTube. Let's see what we've got. How can I switch accounts? Go to Benzinga. Lower? You guys are thinking lower? Okay. All right. Lower on points. But what if Porzingis doesn't play though? You know what I mean? What if Porzingis doesn't play though? All right. It's fine. I told you I would do what you guys want me to do. We'll go lower. All right, let's go now to let's go to some. I'd be down for some WNBA if there's some value on it. Or we could do golf. We could do some golf too. Let's do some golf. All right. I want to go under or lower 3 birdies. I'm thinking lower 3 birdies. I can't pronounce this name, so I won't be disrespectful. But I'm thinking about going lower. Let me know, chat. Higher or lower? What are we doing? I'm thinking lower. I'm going to go lower. We're going to put in 25 bucks on this. All right. Just for fun. Confirm. Done. Say less. Say less. Let's see. Save this. All right, that pretty much does it. I think there's some MLB action early on, right? Yeah, there's some games going to start here in about an hour or so, so I might bet on those a little bit. Have some fun with it. You think Boston's going to lose tonight? Oh, man. I would hope so. You know, I almost went to game 3. So like I said, I was just in Houston, and Dallas is obviously, you know, just about an hour plane ride away and about 4-hour drive away. And I almost went from Houston to Dallas. And then I was going to go to game 3 tonight and then fly back tomorrow because I have to be in Alabama tomorrow. But it was expensive. The tickets were actually, it wasn't that expensive. The tickets were about $700 to $800. After fees, call it $900, which at that point is expensive because you're paying $200 in fees. Thank you, Ticketmaster, for that. But then I would have to like pay for my flight to there, then an expensive flight back to Atlanta because that's a last minute flight. Then my hotels here, and I have friends in Dallas, but I like my privacy, so I usually just get a hotel room, get a car rental. So the whole trip would cost me about $2,500, and I just couldn't do it, y'all. I just could not do it. But I almost went to game 3 tonight. That's the whole point of this. Rest in peace, Jerry West, 3-time Hall of Famer. Did they mean to say 3-time champion? Yeah, I think that's what they meant. I don't know. But anyway. All right, before I hop, any questions whatsoever? Any questions at all about trading? Let's take a look at GME one more time. Nothing crazy happening just yet, but it could get funky. Ooh, Robinhood over $24. Let's go. Let me quickly show you guys an update on. Sorry, what was I about to do? Oh yeah, my E-Trade update. My E-Trade update. So here is my update. Share this with y'all. Delete that. All right. Here's the update. GameStop overall gain. We're up about $800 on this one. We sold 2 contracts, so call that we're down a little bit there. I'm curious if I should just sell. Oh no, hell no, that's $700. I don't want to lose that. Never mind. Robinhood doing beautiful, minus the devil's number right there. That's looking spectacular as we're over $24. I'm curious if I should roll up. I don't know. I'm not the greatest options trader, so I don't know what the best odds and I understand intrinsic value and extrinsic value. I understand all that. So obviously, as this gets deeper in the money, I lose the extrinsic and I have the intrinsic. So that kind of gives me a little bit of comfort. And PayPal, this one was an L that we took, by the way. I'm going to lose money on this one. I think I'm going to lose about $100 on this one. But so far, everything else is looking good. AMC needs to kind of pick it up a little bit. I think this is going to end up being a laggard, but you know, we rock with what we got. Who is RK? RK is Roaring Kitty. It is Roaring Kitty. Oh, actually, hold on a second. Now, this is funny. He actually just tweeted this. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I'm gonna.
I think this just might be my masterpiece.
Well, we're coming back with breaking news because the live stream has finally started. You can see that right there. About 28 or so minutes late, but nonetheless, it is underway. And we'll see exactly what's gonna happen there. Andrew Left's still standing by. We'll give you updates when they happen. You can judge for yourself what's going on your screen.
That's so funny.
I think this just might be my masterpiece.
That's crazy. But all right, chat. Appreciate y'all. Again, we have that investor day or board meeting tomorrow with GameStop. Should be a lot of fun. This is good. I think you might, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if we get some movement. Put the noties on. Put the noties on. It's going to be a fun day. Hopefully. I hope it's going to be a fun day. I hope we hear the story from Roaring Kitty's side, when it's all said and done. But who knows? But who knows? All right, y'all. I'm out. Peace.